also looked a bit at the other tournaments to pick up more tips. Because one thing I've seen from the regions thus far is a lot of people like to just stay in one vehicle together. Like, we're going to get to A to B, and then we're going to go on foot. And I don't think that's the most optimal way to play this game.
I would normally, when I'm commentating PUBG, scream when I see that, because I'm like, all it takes is one person to spray down your car, and it's game over for all of you.
Yeah, do you know driving in PUBG? Do you know how many people crash?
Exactly.
It's a snow map.
It's like, if flip it over, end everyone's life, and you go...
When you drive normal cars and you get into the snow, they spin around and they get icy. It's not easy to drive in Vikendi.
So, a little bit of a slower pace as of now. We saw that fight between FTP and Flex. M19, no one close to him just yet. They're holding off on the edges here.
I'm actually surprised. One thing I want to talk about, normally I think I would see more people try to get a more centered position already.
Yeah.
Us to staying on the edge.
Ooh. FTP back on it, still fighting with Flex. Now, Flex and FTP, this little battle's been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, but Flex, wait, one of the members might just have got knocked across the map, right?
Yeah.
So they landed with few people, and we see that FTP, they know they have the advantage, so they're trying to press it. But right now they're just playing position, which is really, really smart. That you can get on top of these rooftops and just hold them in. As you can see, FTP, they're in the circle, and Team Flex is still kind of have to make it a little bit further in.
And this high ground advantage for FTP is going to play into effect as well. Not only the one-man advantage.
I'm loving the positioning. That's great.
Yeah, really smart.
And I'm happy. I see people with multiple vehicles, and I'm just going to give them a little bit of props.
Let's see if they can hold on to it as well.
Yeah, I want to see them hold on to them for the entire game or as long as possible.
Now, M19 are going to be very happy. They dropped in Trevno from the very beginning. The circles have started to benefit them a little bit more. I spoke about Kuma also being split up, but considering their position, they've still got all 4 players alive and within the circle.
Is this Erangel we see driving past him in the background?
Yeah.
I assume it is,
yeah,
right?
That's got to be AVG's, must be Erangel. Oh, and one player, Mackey's got himself knocked down there. Now he's got the rock for cover at least.
Yeah, and you can see in the minimap in the top right that his team is just across the street, so he's probably scouting since they don't have a great position in the circle right here, but if he's not careful, he's going to get finished off.
He has to be very cautious now. Phantom from Flex taking a little bit further damage as he's starting to push up. FTP looking to try and finish him off it. Now then we talk about players in a vehicle. You've got 2 vehicles, 4 players in it. They get the shots fired at them and they're instantly turning around. They don't want to stick around for that. They don't want to be blown to smithereens and lose players early on.
We see FTP, they're moving on to Erangel. They're hearing them, but I don't think Erangel has a clue since they're trying to help their knock teammate. Will he hit him?
Oh, nice.
He gets the initial knock. And I think they might have been right the other guy, but now Erangel is really, really split. And FTP, they've been looking really aggressive. So this is not looking great for Erangel.
Not at all. Smart plays coming out from FTP. Avangard lose Gonzo off the bat. Now there's multiple vehicles that FTP can take as well, so this is a huge benefit to them.
The only problem, we don't know if FTP knows about the 2 Erangel guys across the street, because we can see them here. They're set up and kind of ready for FTP to cross over.
Shots already being fired off. Bandit is able to get it done. Finds himself the first knock. Will he be able to get the finish off as well? They've got some cover. He's trying to get himself hidden away, and that's nicely done by Avangard. They've got this hold into a good position here. And FTP, while they did look to start off strong, they are just going to back away out of this. They don't want to stick around for too much longer because they know this is a very risky player. They've got 2 players just left alive, 2 dead, and Avangard certainly had the advantage there.
Yeah, but do they? They're stuck in the blue now, and they don't have the vehicles, and they have to move kind of far. So we'll have to see what they can pick up along the way. Epic here is taking shot onto teammate. Nothing really happening. They got bound and turned away from the compound. This is what I expect to see a lot. People playing compounds, and the later we go onto the game, I want to see them breach them because they're so powerful to play on this map especially. If you just look at here, look around the compound, everything is just open.
Yeah.
You do not want to play outside the compound, so you have to fight for them. As you see here, Flex bans him.
Ooh, less than ideal. Jumps out of the vehicle.
And that was actually our first team fully eliminated. Flex has been taken out completely.
They couldn't catch much of a break, right? Because they were literally fighting from the very start. They lost a player early on, then they ran into FTP, then they ran into Avangard. But we got BKB here. They're looking to do it onto FTP. And FTP, they're just running constantly into more and more fire. It's not working out for them, and they could be going down ever so soon.
So we have 2 knocked already, and Erangel took down one of them. Are they all out?
Oh, they're all out. Yeah, 14 teams left now.
Okay, so they must have lost another team somewhere because there were 3 leaving that city down by the water. And I liked FTP. They were playing aggressive, but they stuck around the edge of the circle a little bit too long. All right, what do we have here? Kuma? Look at Kuma split. 1-1-1. I see 3 solos. I can't find... Oh, there's actually the 4th on top.
They're loving it. They've got the play of like, we're going for pure points. We want to stay alive. One of us will still be alive no matter what engagements go down.
Zook, he's happy in the center, but will the rest of his teammates try to go in and find a place they can chill? Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of people playing super passive. Like, I firmly believe that if you play as a 4-man strong and you fight together, you'll have like maybe you'll have a few rough games, but overall you're gonna be able to do better than if you 100% rely on just solo snaking it all the way through.
Now, answer me this: if you had this point system on PC when you were playing, would you go for still the same style of approach, or would you passive up a little bit more?
That's kind of... I mean, you have to kind of just play the game, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't... In the PC world, we've had... It's been better as of late, but in the past we'd had maybe 5 different tournaments, and every single tournament had different point systems.
Yeah.
And unless they were super, super heavy on kills, you couldn't change it up too much. I mean, the basics of playing PUBG is basically you want to know the map really, really well, so you can drive towards a place that you can see is free, and from that place you can then look onwards towards maybe compounds or other good places to play. So basically, knowing where to drive and how to scout to get yourself the best position possible is very, very essential. And like, no matter how the point system changes, you still just gotta have that fundamental style of you wanna have the safe rotations and just know how to move around. That's honestly one of the hardest parts. I mean, if you just want to shoot at people, you just load into a solo game or a squad game and then you shoot at everything you see. It's not necessarily the hardest part here. It's the communication, taking the fights, and actually the rotations can be really, really devastating a lot of the times.
Yeah, that teamwork has to be on point. As things slow down just a little bit here, more teams found themselves compounds to work out of.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that this many people are content with sitting kind of closer towards the edge. I would think to myself, hey, if we can loot up fast, we're in the circle, we want to try to go for a better spot. I noticed that M19, they looted that city up on the north coast, and they had the circle on them. They were content with sitting on the edge rather than trying to, you know, maybe loot up for a minute or two and then moving to a really good spot in the circle. So we'll have to see how that works out for some of the teams that are playing, you know, passive towards the edge rather than trying to be proactive and moving and securing themselves good spots.
Now we still see this.
I actually love the positions underneath the bridges. You're just like, yeah, nothing can see us. We just have to hope the circle lands on us. And you're just like, you know, happy days.
It's that waiting game. It's like, okay, come on, give it to us.
One thing we've been talking a little bit about is, obviously I'm not a PUBG Mobile pro, but if you sit with, you know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, how long the games are, and you're actively playing, you're gonna have really sweaty hands.
Yes.
So maybe it is a part of the strategy to actually, you know, have some places where you can just, you know, relax for a minute or two, maybe wipe your hands off from sweat, because it gets really intense.
Yeah, and that's it, right? It's the adrenaline going. This is a competitive match. There's money on the line, and there's kills happening across the board. BML managed to start off with 2 knocks. Can they get the finishes off there?
It looks like it, because they have the advantage here. Actually, one of the... what is that name? Let's say BML on Team 9. One of the Team 9 guys is in the zone, but there's 2 knocks in the blue. Actually, one get rest, but they have to make this big open crossing. Oh, I like this. Pablo with the hero play. I really hope Pablo makes it out alive.
Oh no, he just got knocked as well in the vehicle.
No.
Tries to get away. Lutz is now going for it as well. More shots coming on. They're looking to take down this vehicle. Billy's spraying it down, but he's not going to be able to find himself another knock. But that's 3 players now stuck behind rocks, knocked down. The BML can come in and clean up to get some additional points here.
Unfortunate, but this is the power of the compounds. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be caught in the open here. I honestly kind of agree with their approach that they're in a really tough spot. You see the blue already starts moving out, so they have to do something. If I would give a tip a point, try to get a knock and then move with the vehicles. You can't just, you know, start driving without a really lead way anyway.
Yeah.
No. But we see Kuma here. These were the guys that were playing one by one by one by one. And one of the snakes have been caught out. We can actually see the other one on the mini-map. And is he about to be found out as well? We were talking about this, that, I mean, at least me, it can work. But it just, you play so passive that you don't take any fights, and I'm not a fan of it.
it means like there, right? He gets knocked. There's no chance anyone's going to be able to bring him back up. He's
and you
completely
saw his friend
isolated.
was actually close in vicinity, but he didn't even try to help.
They're like, we're playing the long game. You failed, now I'll stay alive.
I think it could work if they were aiming for top 5, top 6, maybe, maybe some top 10 overall. But here you have to get top 2. You need to play as a team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And try to get those consistent top 5s. We see a bunch of knocks here, but BKB got a knock onto Epic, and 14 strikes past here. Lutz, that was the escaping guy from the BKM compound. He finds the kills as well onto where that was. This fight's everywhere. I like this. Team 14, they're pushing Team 8. I'm telling you, the way to do this is try to take the gun. Dennis from M19 unfortunately gets taken down. And there's no response from his team. His team is kind of close by, but it seems they're content with not taking the compound. This is actually my favorite landing spot. It's like the Pubg of Erangel. It's super central. There's always a ton of people. When you land, it's great landscape to fight in. But there's a lot of people now.
Thanos will finally get finished off. Ramon from Kuma, he's killed as well. And Nakuma lost us. So that's 3 players now down for Kuma. They've only got 1 player left alive. So despite playing so passively, it's going to be a bit of an awkward start for them.
That's what we're talking about. M19 was a team I expected a lot from, and they've been using the vehicles so effectively that it gets blown up now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it gets blown up this early, but you can still make it into the game. The more experience you get, the longer you get to keep these vehicles alive. So we'll have to see how they move on from here. Now they actually have to fight their way out. I don't know. They were trying to kind of push that compound, but then they lost one and got scared off. But unless they get the circle now, they'll actually have to fight their way out. And it goes really... Actually, it goes kind of close to them. I thought M19 was in the top right, then the bottom left. So we only see Epic, who's in the circle right now. M19, they need to crawl their way in a little bit. He actually gets the knock onto Epic, so this could open up the push from M19 to take the best spot in the circle.
Now Romania, there you see on the western side, or the eastern side over there, they're starting to move away. So there's 2 teams in compounds right next to each other. They've both split off evenly. They don't want to take the fights of each other just yet.
They all have to move into the circle, though. It's only Epic and M19 who was close originally. And how many teams are here? 5 or 6, maybe even 7? They all have to go towards the circle. This is going to be mayhem.
Ooh, a lot of damage being done there as well. Romania just spraying down onto them. Despite them being in the vehicles, no knocks coming in just yet. Close range fights going down here as well.
We see Pesa get taken down and finished. So Team 5, they're really split up. I want to see people play closer to each other. Will Bat Exile move in on screen alone? We'll see.
Oh, screen instantly knocked down there.
His teammate does get a trade onto Katoya though. And Champion has to move over towards Eclipse.
Oh, heavy damage coming in as well. They're going themselves, getting hit by that blue and sprayed down on.
It looks like Biggie's managed to take down the Romanian team here. No, that was not. There was WL. Who's WL?
This is the Romanian team, the RSQ.
But WL got finished there, and Champion, I think, managed to make it. He's still running Team 16 on their minimap. Romania, they're almost in. They actually have a fantastic piece of cover there by that huge rock. They have Team 6 close to them. They all have different names. I'm going to call them Team 6. But yeah, Romania using their utility wisely. You saw them smoke across the entire road, make it to a really good piece of cover. They just have to be aware of the surroundings. BKB, we've been following them. They held down the compound. I believe they were the ones that fought in 19. They might be close to them again and have to fight them a bit to get in here. We see 2 solos here sticking up in Team Romania. Biggie, CC Strike to stay near the blue. BKB here is fighting Epic. Do we know what happened to M19? They were in this vicinity and they get a knock onto Epic, but I don't know where they're moved to. Romania managed to find the one solo guy in XP. XP gets taken down.
That's going to work out really well for them. Romania have kept themselves together as the unit. They pushed themselves forward towards that rock, which gave them the cover they needed. Now they've just got to be aware of what's going on around them.
Yep, BML, do you see them sharing here a compound with Team 17? This is something that you kind of have to learn in PUBG. You can't always take as much real estate as you like. Big is here, he's trying to sneak up to Erangel, but the circle updated, and once again, most of the people have to move. Big is just laying down, hugging the ground, hoping for the best. Romania, they're looking to get proactive. They're wondering, should we sweep across the road? How are we gonna get in this? And Erangel is sitting kind of pretty. We don't know how the terrain looks towards them, but Romania, once again, they're smoking the road. They want to cross. I want to see them sweep all the way at the edge of the zone to make sure there's no snakes, such as we see lots here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have the time. It's 10 seconds until the blue starts moving again. It looks like Tudor had to take cover because he got shot at. I don't think he has any idea the Lutz is here. And I don't know if he's going to check that way around. He opts not to.
Ooh, sneaky Lutz.
We also see Erangel sending it into the zone. And I think they got to a ridge here. And they're using 2 cars as cover. Erangel is in a fantastic spot here. And Romania have to approach them. And Lutz here. Yes, an 8. He's coming up behind Team Romania.
And that's crazy. That means now Team Romania are completely pinned
down.
down.
Yeah, Lutz actually managed to take them.
Nicely done. Avangard is delivering a world of hurt, hiding behind the cars, keeping themselves with some good cover here. Lutz is trying to be sneaky, but it's not going to work out for him too well.
I think that's entire Romania. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, it looked like it, that the BML or Lutz find the last guy snaking on the side.
Yeah, they're not on the server anymore. Lutz is trying to stay alive, but he's picked off by BML's Billy.
Now we're down to our last 5 teams. We have Avangard, we have BML, we have Team 17, and...
K?
K? We can call them K.
They're going to just deal with K for now.
Alright, we'll call them K. And they're all around this little compound here. And we have Epic as well. Epic were the guys that got the hard shift onto them in the compound. They managed to save their vehicles. So, who's going to have to fight first? I mean, BML is sitting pretty. And I kind of like what they're doing where they're not all sitting in the same building and they try to take up a lot of ground. It's very important that you own some space to play and you scare off other teams. Because if you're just sitting in a compound all together, other teams will keep up on you, and then as soon as you try to leave, you'll be boxed in. So I like how BML is trying to be as proactive as they can and try to spread out, and also look for kills. Kill points matters a lot in the end.
Yeah, on top of your placement points, they can nicely stack up as Santos finds himself another one. A knock this time around. Can he get the finish off? Now, it shouldn't be too hard for K to keep themselves alive. They have got that compound there to work from. But you've got to be careful of those windows. This is where you start to get picked off by a team like BML, who are very actively looking around for the other teams.
Yep, and this is kind of expected late game. We see the cars being used to the fullest, the smoke grenades, and people are just trying to hunker down as best as they can, waiting for the circle, hoping for a miracle. And I believe it's BKB over there that got... BKB and Epic got the better share of the circle here. Erangel is trying to see if they have anything they can hold on to, but I believe they saved 4 cars throughout this game, so they're already going in. I kind of like this, where you leave a few guys behind.
Oh no! Mackie tries to make the run, the great escape, but the spray downs come in. As Santos was taking those shots though, he eats some damage back himself, this time from Wenzi from Team Epic. And BML need to be cautious.
Everyone starts shooting and then you get shot in the side. It's extremely powerful. Yeah, but that's how it is. You actually see BKB get knocked and finish here. Epic Drum doing the work here. Erangel Scout, he got taken down. This is what I wanted to point out, is it's way too early to move into the zone here if you're Erangel, because there's so many teams behind him in the compound. So if he moves this early, he's just going to be shot from absolutely everywhere. Epic here, they're in a fantastic spot. They're in the zone. They have amazing cover in the form of a USS Rock. And there's still smokes down to cover up the angles.
Oh, Avangard. Bandita tries to get one, does find the knock, but then will be taken down.
We see DJR just healing in the blue. He's the last guy by the guy. He's trying to see if he can get any placements. They've done one more. One team got eliminated. But will BML be taken out here, or BKB, before Erangel DJR dies to the blue?
He's taking 9 damage a second.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more first aids, and it doesn't look like another team is going to get finished up.
The rough run, he knows it's over, and that'll be Avangard done for. 3 teams remain. Epic in a great spot. BKB needs to be careful. Big trying to find some tree coverage there.
And there we go.
4 players alive, and these nades are coming out, all on towards Epic. Oh, and they're all eating the dust. Brilliant from BML there. They're looking to try and secure this. It's BML versus BKB.
And I believe it's a 4v2 here, and it's actually 4v1 because Tomato is knocked. And we see BML pushing aggressively. They know they have this. The knock player get finished. And that's all. BML. They waited for the cast to happen, and then they just swooped up and cleaned up. Really clean play by them. And how many kills is that? I mean, it looks like 17. That's a lot of kills.
17 kills and a first place. That is a lot of points to rack up on the opening game. That is the start they would have dreamed for at the beginning there as well. And you saw how it went down. Avangard's quite up there on the kills as well. Mainly Bandita having them 8 kills alone, managing to hold strong for it. But overall, you've got to say that that was a very impressive ending there from BML, just the way they handled it, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think they played it almost to perfection in the sense that they didn't try to do anything crazy. They were the guys that were on top of the hill. They were spreading out, taking control, making sure nobody pushed from the left, nobody pushed from the right. And then they funneled the other guys into each other.
Yeah.
And then when the other guys were fighting, then they swooped around and cleaned up. So really well played by BML here to finish out the game 1.
I think Avangard will be kicking themselves just a little bit, only because they came so close, right? They had 3 players left alive, and you saw Mackie. They obviously made the decision. The call came in. Okay, we're going to go for it. That new circle pops. We want to try and get in there. But he got sprayed down instantly.
Yeah.
He was the first man to move out, and it was like, ooh, let's light him up like a Christmas tree. He'll be our main target now. And that is where the rough ride started for Avangard.
I think you made a mistake in moving a bit too early.
Yeah.
You can't move straight away. But I was happy to see how Erangel did. They're obviously one of the sign teams here, so I have my eyes on them. And they managed to keep 4 vehicles alive, and they did rotations. And when they had to use those vehicles, they actually moved them to cover with the smokes. So that's how you get really far in this game. It's actually, you don't have to be the best at shooting. Shooting helps, but here we see Erangel get picked off guard early on, but they managed to get out of that situation and actually do really, really well.
Yeah, they managed to keep themselves going for a long time despite pressure being applied. And we're looking at the highlights here. And it will be a lot of the BML show considering they got 17 kills. And what's crazy, right? They were always getting kills, but it wasn't like we were seeing early on that they had like 2 or 3 kills like really quick. It was just 1 kill here, 1 kill there. They were always engaging, but engaging smart.
Definitely. And I mean, if you want to be great at PUBG, you just have to know how to choose your fights, when to take them, and also how to approach them. And this game, BML did everything right, it seems.
And what's going to be interesting, right, because this is Vikendi, that's all well and good. But when we move on to our next map, that's going to be, okay, can you keep it going? Or are you just a certain specialist when it comes down to this? We're going to be learning a lot about these teams.
Definitely. And like I said, Vikendi could be great for like a new, inexperienced team because all the maybe the most settled teams to have really good tactics for Miramar and Erangel. And they're maybe more uncertain, whereas the new team is like, hey, we haven't practiced any of the maps, so we're just going to wing it. And sometimes that actually works more than if you sit for hours and hours and talk about it. And here we just see BML have control over the entire circle and finishes out cleanly with all 4 people alive.
Yeah, solid ending. I think the best thing there for BML was just the way that they utilized their grenades at the end, right? They saw where Epic was, and Epic was their biggest challenge. There was 3 players still alive. 1 admittedly was knocked, but they just barreled out the grenades, and they were like, cool, we've dealt with you. Now we've only got 2 more players to go, and things worked out for them. So a very good start for BML, but this is only game 1. We've still got 3 more games to come your way today. And it's going to be very interesting just to see what dynamics change, how a team's going to react when we go on to the different maps. They don't get the consistency of just playing, oh, we don't get Vikendi. They have to get ready straight away now and think, all right, what's our game plan going into match 2?
And we can just talk a little bit about Miramar here. Miramar is completely different. Like I said, Vikendi, it's mostly compounds. There's very few spots you can actually play comfortably in the open. And then we need vehicles. But let's talk about Miramar after this break.
Do you play PUBG Mobile? Maybe you never run out of stamina. Maybe you're always aware of your surroundings. Maybe you're an amazing cook with the pan. Maybe you're a great driver. But as soon as you hear the sound of an airplane, you get into the zone. In PUBG Mobile, you all come from different walks in life. But you face the same dangers on the battleground. And you become friends. You work together to overcome the obstacles. This is PUBG Mobile. There's a #1 in all of us. Welcome to the PUBG Mobile first anniversary party. PUBG Mobile, be the one.
1 year ago today, PUBG Mobile went online in over 200 countries. On the 1 year anniversary of the game, we're here with you to witness the honor and the glory. The anniversary Royale Pass will go live as scheduled with the usual variety of rewards and a load of anniversary exclusive items, such as the brilliant anniversary outfit, the retro anniversary set, and the L&Q Chicken M762 finish. Don't miss out. PUBG Mobile, be the one. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass, you deserve it. Royale Pass Season 6 is here. This season's theme is 1 year anniversary of PUBG Mobile with lots of rare items. We've also added lots of more realistic and hardcore items to your Royale Pass rewards. Turn yourself into an elite soldier. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass.
Ha! Gotcha. Royale Pass. You deserve it.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Yo, Mike, are you ready? Wait. Should I go with the UMP9 or UC?
Sun's out, guns out.
Gear up for summer.
Ready?
Okay. Well,
Ready?
sorry. I'm late.
Any plans for fall break?
Happy graduation! You made it, bro. So proud of you.
Sorry I'm late. What a day.
I hear ya. Get
Come
this.
on.
Hey!
Watch out.
Take this. Hey!
Real battleground.
Are you ready?
you play PUBG Mobile? Maybe you never run out of stamina. Maybe you're always aware of your surroundings. Maybe you're an amazing cook with the pan. Maybe you're a great driver. But as soon as you hear the sound of an airplane, you get into the zone. In PUBG Mobile, you all come from different walks in life. But you face the same dangers on the battleground. And you become friends. You work together to overcome the obstacles. This is PUBG Mobile. There's a number one in all of us. Welcome to the PUBG Mobile first anniversary party. PUBG Mobile. Be the one.
We're back and ready for game 2. We'll be heading over to Miramar very soon, and you've got myself, James Banks, and Larson to take you through all the action. Now, Vikendi was our first map, and we saw a crazy game from Be My Loot. First of all, I love that name, but second of all, not only 30 points for the win, but 17 in kills. That's a great start to kick this off with.
Definitely, and I briefly mentioned it's like when you get 15 kills, you have an insane game. But we're jumping into Miramar now, and we have to see if they can keep it up, or they're Vikendi only. We're going to have a full month here of gaming and games to cast, and we just have to see if, you know, there's a lot of teams that are really, really good on one map, and then they might lack on some others, but right now, Be My Loot, they're up there. They were playing it really well.
And it's all about the consistency, right? We talk about consistency a lot in PUBG anyway, but across this is not like you're just facing the same teams. You can get a feel for what they're saying, like you were mentioning earlier. This is where you're playing against the other groups. You're swapping around a little bit, and the maps are changing after every game. Okay, we get 2 Erangel games at the end, but you really do have to know what you're doing on all the maps. This isn't like, oh, okay, just prepare for Miramar and Erangel all day long. You have to know it inside out, and that's what I want to see. Is Be My Loot and some of these other teams, are they maybe more specialists at Vikendi, or can they keep this going long term?
And just one thing I want to clarify and keep repeating is these players, they're playing for $2.5 million throughout this year. I believe it's across 3 tournaments. There's going to be the spring finals. There's going to be fall finals. And then at the end of the year, there's going to be a big global event. But the only way for these teams to even qualify to get to any of the money, we have 32 European teams here competing, and only 2 of them can go through. It's a lot of regions to talk about, but I believe we have 10 regions. Let me quickly look here. We have China, Europe, India, Japan, Korea, Middle East, North America, South America, Southeast Asia, and the wildcard region. And we have 10 regions, but 16 spots. I believe Europe, North America, China, and Japan, they all have 2 spots. No, not Japan. Instead of Japan, it's India. And then Southeast Asia has 3. And the rest of all those regions I just mentioned only have 1 spot. Wow. And it's all 32 teams regions fighting for either 1 open spot, 2 open spots, or Southeast Asia that has 3. So the competition is insane. You actually have to have these wins with 17 games repeatedly if you even want to think about getting a sharehold of these $2.5 million.
And that's 300 teams across all of those regions, right? This is where it's so wild. This is truly worldwide PUBG
this is insane.
Mobile esports going down for a lot of money on the line. As we are getting our teams out the planes and they're going towards their chosen positions. Now, the south area here, near Los Leones, is a little bit more heavily populated. They'll
Can we
still
talk
spread
about
their way
this nobody in Picado? We all, like, Picado's the greatest place on Miramar. Picado, San Martin, Hacienda. I would probably say those are my 3 favorite places, and I don't see anyone there. I'm disappointed.
This is why we need them to watch this back, and they'll be like, okay, Larson said Picado's good, we need to go here as well. We need to test it out.
It has really good loot. The buildings are amazing. You just go in, you go out, you take whatever spot you want, you're good to go. But we see Erangel and Epic here. Erangel, yeah, I don't know. They're signed by an org. These are professional people. You can assume if it's not a full-time job, it's at least a part-time job. And they're 4 people that probably have played together for a long time. So I might be a little bit more, I don't want to say rude, but I do want to say the teams that are signed by orgs, I have higher expectations of them.
Oh, 100%. We should definitely be more critical of them, right? Because this isn't just like you're playing for yourself, you're playing with some friends and enjoying the game and trying to win some big cash on the line. This is, you're representing a prestigious organization like Erangel that is known not just throughout PUBG, but other games as well. You have to deliver.
Yeah, and we saw M19 in the last game. I thought that they were landing in a small town, they were alone. We actually see H here spotting FTP. FTP, they were fighting early last game as well. They're not finding any rest. And FTP takes a bit of damage, but they manage to disengage. One thing we see a lot here is, what I've experienced is that people, they tend to spread out a lot and be really greedy and try to loot up as fast as possible, whereas we see here, a lot of these players, they're staying relatively close to each other to be safe. But this is just what you get when you play these kind of tournaments. We have 32 different teams and new groups every day. So every day they get to play against new players. So they don't know, and that's why we see so many teams standing with each other here. BML, our last game winners, they're up against the WL. And we see BDTB, he gets shot a bit by Posa.
Nice positioning here, at least from WL.
I believe WL is welcome to the lobby.
I love the creative names.
Yeah, I like those names.
The names we're getting from these teams, I'm down for it, right? If you're an org and you're going to pick up one of these teams, make it whatever your name of your org is, dot, and then their fun name afterwards, just so we can keep the entertainment going.
But Be My Loot is fighting against Welcome to the Lobby here. Be My Loot obviously won the last game with 17 kills, and you know, one thing I actually heard heading over to the studio was that some of the other people that are commentating the other regions, they've been asked by organizations to keep an eye out for teams that they should potentially sign. So now when BML has set the standard high, I'm going to keep having higher expectations of them. Billy B taking some pubs just back towards Posa. But another thing I want to point out here. Okay, I was just waiting to see something happen because fighting this early on is not very beneficial to anyone here.
No, it's dangerous for both sides, right? Because
you're literally fighting for nothing because we don't know if they're actually in the same group, so they're gonna play against in all the other days. But normally, when you fight in the early game, you don't fight for position to the circle. We know these guys, they're far up north. The circle were kind of central to the south. So even if they manage to kill a few of each other here, they still have miles to go to the circle. And I don't think personally it's worth fighting a lot unless it's for a good spot in the zone. So seeing both these teams like sacrifice this much loot to try and get a kill or 2 extra is, when I'm an in-game lead, I would say this definitely doesn't look like it's worth it. And we can see here Carla, he has 2 bandages and a UMP and a helmet. It doesn't look like he has a vest. He has a level 1 backpack. It's not the start that Be My Loot wanted to if they want to keep up this rampage that they've been on.
no, not at all, and especially for Be My Loot.
Shotgun and UMP, no vest, 2 bandies. Yeah, that's not what you want to see here.
and this is the how much time are these two teams going to try and battle this out, right? Because any mistake made early on here is going to be a real punishment for them going throughout the rest of the game. So it's a little of the waiting game coming out here. But BKB, we spoke about them before, the Buzz Kill Bros. They had a good placement. They currently sat in 2nd place after game 1. They're already starting off with a couple of shots coming out towards OMG. And they get a kill as well to come away with it.
OMG's full team name is OMGG. Not to sound as much as the Chinese organization, but we see Doctor here taking down Taprega, and he gets finished off. BKB, they're doing it well. They're playing all together. You can see OMGG's teammates. They're on top of the hill. They're far away, and they actually didn't send in any backup. We can only see them on the background here in the spectator map, but if you look at the minimap, they actually wasn't close. And as I mentioned, and we're talking about, it's not worth fighting for this early. So Be My Loot realized, and welcome to the lobby, it's like, hey, we should probably, the blue is starting to move, we have to get really far to get in the zone, we barely have any loot, we're gonna disengage, and it doesn't look like Be My Loot has any vehicles. We don't know the situation for welcome to the lobby, but so far, at least welcome to the lobby is getting some loot, but Be My Loot at least had a heck of a first game, because this is really rough when you get into these kind of situations. And this will continuously happen when there's this many teams, this many groups.
Yep.
You don't always know what to expect from the other teams.
Just to point out as well, right? Be My Loot. They are 17 points ahead of the second place team at the moment, just off the back of game 1. So they've got an impressive start overall. So they've got a bit of wiggle room against some of these other teams, but with how heavy this point system is in terms of placements, all it takes them to have one bad game where they go down early on, that quickly multiple teams could overtake them.
Definitely. And I just want to keep pointing out, because it's so hard when you play for a top 2 in a tournament that lasts a month and you play against 32 other teams. Well, 31 other teams than yourself, obviously, but you need to just... there's going to be so much pressure. Now in the beginning, I think it's all fun and games. People don't really realize, but let's say there's 1 weekend left. You're in the top 5. You can see the punch not too far away. You actually realize that, hey, I've just, you know, Bob and Billy and Tom from the school, I asked them if they wanted to play some mobile phone games with me. And then they realized they have a real shot at actually getting towards those 2.5 million. But I think, at this point of the tournament, I think some of the people don't have as much nets, but the later we go on, it gets really, really intense as a player.
I think if you get onto, say, like, a little bit of the way through tomorrow and you're thinking, okay, my points are not looking too good. It's the real, we cannot have any faults. We have to bring our A game into this. There cannot be any mistakes being had here. Now you can see on the map, FTP, they're still pretty close to the other team. They've been in that position since the very beginning. They're now inside the blue as well. So not much damage being done at this point, but either way, they've still got to fight their way out of it at some point. They can't just sit there and wait it out. And they did have a rough start to game 1 on Vikendi.
Definitely. Yeah, they were just fighting a lot early, kind of what they're doing now, where they stayed behind so the circle caught up to them, and then they didn't manage to transition out of the circle very well. And it seems like they're aggressive now. But like I said, the placement points, they matter a lot more than the kill points, so I'm kind of surprised, I would say, by these teams deciding to stay behind in the first circle to try and get a few extra points in the blue. But we see a lot of the teams... Actually, I'm surprised. How many teams are still in the blue? I mean, obviously BML is, and they found a few vehicles.
And the Romanians, they are getting their shots off straight away. They're going to find themselves a knock at least through the vehicle. Can't blow the vehicle up just yet. Shooter's looking, see if he can get a position to spot onto it and try and shoot it down. He can see it long range. Can he land these shots? Spraying away. Trying to take good control.
There's no way you hit that with Iron Sight again.
He's believing. He's not able to get it done, but they did still secure the knock onto one player. Now just tapping away ever so slowly with it. They're applying the pressure either way. The confidence that is being shown by him. You can give him that.
Definitely. But I mean, like, I don't know how much ammunition that player has, but...
You wasted a lot at that point.
So, but what I know from personal experience is that if you rotate early, they're in the circle, you don't necessarily get to carry as much loot, because sometimes you're just like, hey, if I have 100 bullets, I have 2 medkits, I have a few smoke grenades, a few grenades, you're good to go. But then that doesn't afford you to spend 150 bullets shooting after a car really far away when you have an AK Iron Sight. I mean, I'm just calling it optimistic at the least.
You know, in his eyes, he was probably sat there thinking, if I land this shot, it's going to be one of the greatest shots we've seen on PUBG Mobile. And if I fail it, then they're just going to mug me off like we're doing right now.
I guess that's why I'm washed up. I wasn't trying to be the big playmaker, more like the safe and boring type.
Hey, if it wins you money and it wins you events, that's what it's all about.
I respect it. I like when people do crazy stuff, and, you know.
The trick plays that come in.
I feel like the more you play, the more stuff you think about, and then you're less likely to go in and, like, do crazy stuff unless... but it was like, let's say I want to breach a building and be like, hey, teammate 1 and 2, you're going to come with me. Teammate 4, you're going to hold the building so we can run over safety, and then we're all going to go together.
Yeah.
And whereas you might not have that experience that you always want to have crazy teamwork, then you just see fucking... No, excuse my language. You see Bob running to the building, and then he just gets a 1v4, and it's really crazy.
And that's what happens, right? You get these players who come into this, like you're saying, who maybe not as experienced, not so many years in it, and they're just fearless. They'll run in and be like,
fearless, and
I can do it. And they get these crazy kills. And okay, it doesn't work every single time, but when it does, you're sat there going, my God, he is the mastermind.
Exactly. And I love it.
Now, talking about masterminds, that's what Erangel are going to need to be. Bit of a rough start on game 1. Can they climb back just a little bit here?
I would say Erangel had a good game, right? They were in the top 4.
Oh yeah, they got eliminated early, but they still managed to hit top 3, yeah. Top 3, very impressive.
They lost one player early. It was M19 that I was like, I would like to see them try to be more proactive, because they were just staying like really far out instead of trying to go for position early on when they had the really easy route to it from their landing spot.
Yeah, very true, and very well remembered there as well. Yeah, I haven't got managing to pull it out, because that was it, right? They just made the poor decision at the end with the vehicles and trying to push out.
They managed to keep the 3 vehicles, and they were using the vehicles for as long as they could, and then I believe it was Maki who had the right idea. He just executed a little bit too early, in my opinion. He had to wait for the other teams to do something, or they had to get a knock somewhere.
Now, Team Hero on your screen at the moment. Lutz was the solo player left alive on Vikendi last time around, and he managed to get them some serious points.
He got 6th place, right?
Yeah, 6th there, and they're currently sat in 6th place with 14 points. Only 2 kill points coming in there. So Lutz staying alive, trying to be sneaky, waiting for some of the other teams going around him, help them secure an early kind of lead, obviously above some of the other teams.
And that's what's really important to do, right? Now, if you keep saying if you have 4 people alive, you can make it really, really far. But if you have, like, you run into some rough situations and you get down to 1 player, if you manage to get into, like, those top 6, top 5 situations and something you can keep doing, you can actually salvage a lot of these games and you stay in the top.
Carla gone down straight away there. And that is actually to Hero, who we were just talking about. So initially they've lost a player off the bat here. Still very early on as well. There's just 15 teams left within it. M19 also losing Hate Hope there. Epic battling up into him.
I believe that the M19, they were in Las Leonas. They probably tried to go a little bit further. You see OG just firing away. A few shots connecting, but...
He went for the sniper play at first, took the first shot, and then was like, okay, that didn't work. Let's just spray it out and see what can happen.
Who's getting down here? K is getting shot heavily. I think they lost 2. At least they got a few knocks.
3 players knocked now for them. They've just got White left. But they do have at least the compounds to hide within. But where's their teammate from here? Yeah, this could be really bad for them.
Dude,
the teammate's not close.
Where's K-Slat's teammate? We don't know. So
they're saying the same thing. They're like, where are you, dude? Come on.
And then we see AC. They're just going in and cleaning up.
Easy kills, easy pickings. No problems at all. They're going to be really happy with that. FTP, though, they've entered up on the scoreboard, getting a knock onto one of the Epic players. Kuma under heavy pressure, and it's Flex delivering it this time around. Ramon and Suckit, they're going to go down instantly.
I remember Kuma from last game. They maybe decided instead of 1-1-1-1, they're trying to do 2-2 here, and it's not working out.
It's like, oh, we've run into more people. Oh,
do you think we'll see them fall together in the next map? Since 1x1x1 doesn't work and 2x2 doesn't work, because we can see down in the bottom left here, they actually have 2x2 now with Slumpy and whoever is below him.
Do you know what they're going to do? They're going to really mind game it. They're going to go, okay, now we're going to go 3-1. And then for the final game, if it still doesn't work, then we'll just play as a unit.
I like it.
Now, BML, they did lose a player early on, but they've got a couple of vehicles to play with here as they just come down from the north.
We still saw 2 teams in the blue here, trying to make rotations. It's really hard to do Miramar.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I want to talk about, driving on Miramar is...
You hate it, don't you?
Okay, so let's say you're a casual player. Oh, actually, we see some action here.
Flex again. Flex are literally lighting up this scoreboard.
But it's in the blue. If you look at it, it's at the bottom right of the map. And they managed to take out, was that all of FTL? Or
FTP, yeah.
FTP.
Yeah. I don't think there's a single FTP player left alive. Flex truly flexing on them.
I think we saw Flex gather up quite a few kills in the last game as well, but I don't think they got as many placement points, right? And you can see them falling down to the play zone here.
Oh, no. Wow. You can't allow that to happen. I don't care.
They
Especially
stayed in
this
the blue
early
for
on.
too long, yeah.
It's only phase 4. It's not acceptable.
No, but this is like a lot of these teams are putting emphasis on fighting early, whereas I don't think the point system is rewarding enough for you to focus on fighting in the first circle or the second circle, unless it's for a good position in the zone, so you don't end up dying in the blue zone. Like, was that the entire team? We're down to 14 teams. I believe the entirety of Flex just got eliminated by the play zone.
Wow, and Flex only has 1 point anyway. They're down in 15th place, so Custer's the only one left alive. He's being sprayed down. Epic's going to be on the cleanup duty, and that's a nice set of kills coming in for those players. As the play area will get restricting even further now. You do not want to be in the blue as we move on further down into the phases where more damage will start to tick away at you.
It's quiet now. We're gonna have to get a new circle, and we've been seeing crazy hardships on all these circles here. So I believe when this blue closes in, we're in for a hard time, especially because what I was trying to point out earlier is it's so hard to rotate. As we see Kuma here, our duo team or solo team actually getting caught off guard on a rotation here. I don't think they were using any vehicles from Team Kuma and running in the wrong place. You know, he was running an open field right next to Big Hill. He's destined to get killed and picked off.
You're basically putting a target on your back at that point, which is why they only have one player left alive.
So ASE earlier take out the majority of Team K.
BKB have just run straight into Hero.
How many did they lose? Was it 1 or 2? Wait,
Two.
Hero's getting turned on here, and BKB is actually turning it around.
Wow. Where is this battle going down? It's so back and forth. BKB, Buzzkill Bros, they're looking to put the hurt onto everyone that's come their way. They were just trying to run away from Kuma. They obviously clearly ran into another team and then had a bit of a back and forth battle here. Now this is an interesting stack up.
Yeah. But who do you think has the upper hand here? The guys at the top or the guys at the bottom? Because
it depends
they're
if
in
the
the
guys at the
circle for
bottom
now,
push up.
but they're in the circle for now, but probably in the next circle they'll have to move out. So who would you rather be? Would you be in the top or at the bottom?
Okay, this is the BKB bit that we just missed, so I'll come back to what you were just saying there, Larson, as we'll look to see what happened. So
They're
BKB,
looting.
yeah, the dead bodies.
Okay, they killed some people and now they're scavenging the loot, but they...
Okay, wasn't the replay of the actual action happening. I got excited that it may have been that. Instead, it was just a bit of looting. We'll come back to this compound. Now, you asked me if the guys at the bottom or the top are going to be more benefited. It really depends if the guys at the bottom know that there's a team above them. You'd hope they do.
I mean, they do. They can hear them, and they're
not really moving or making too much noise.
That's a good point.
So they could be being baited out here. This is a real
like,
problem.
if you think about it, if they didn't know there was anyone upstairs, don't you think at least one guy would have been curious and went up to check?
We'll have to wait and see. We don't know how long they've actually been there. Obviously, about a minute or so now, at least from what we've seen on the screen. But I would say the guys at the bottom have the better luck there because obviously they could just wait it out. They did know someone was above them.
And everybody above has to jump out.
They've got to come down. So they either jump out and take damage or they slowly go down and try and clear out each floor.
So the two teams, we've been a little bit, you know, the two teams with all Erangel, they're both in the straight center of the circle now. So they're doing great. We see other teams, BML, BMLU, we're trying to make it in.
Ooh.
And is that 2 down? 2 down.
Yeah.
And their last remaining player drove off to the right and he was really, really low. And I don't know if he died. But I think we saw one of them drive off to the right alone.
So many kills lining up the scoreboard as of now. 32 players left alive, but 11 teams. So there's going to be a fair few players with just one hope, one dream. Can they stay up on it? BKB back under fire. Erangel this time away, trying to tap away at these players who've got quite a lot of opportunity to get covered up and hidden there. Erangel will finally finish them off. Spraying them around, it's DGR trying to get the damage done here.
So BML has one alive, but he didn't make it into the circle. And BKB is also down to one last guy standing. And these were our top 2 finishes from our previous game. Erangel is looking really good on the south side though.
Okay, good position, but there's a lot of teams closing in on him.
Yeah, we see Team 5 here. Is that's welcome to the
Welcome
lobby.
to the lobby, yes.
Yeah, they're kind of creeping up. And you'd expect a team, so when they hear Erangel firing a lot, that's the perfect time to run up on the hill and maybe get a kill or 2. We also see BMLU, the last remaining guy standing for the team, is trying to sneak in, but he's just not in the zone. He has to get past Maki and then the rest of Erangel who want to make it in.
Maki well aware of what's going on as well. Wants to be a little bit cautious and say, okay. They've got a mini cam here at the Sanhok trying to make it work. Pulls out his weapon, starts spraying the floor because he wasn't ready for that attack to come towards him. And he'll go down. And that means our winners of game 1 are eliminated. 10 teams remain. And Erangel, they're certainly looking to step it up a notch on game 2.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see it. They're playing it really well, taking control of the hill. Now we just have to see, are they aware of welcome to the lobby coming in here? I know Bandita is juicy airdrop.
A crazy third party.
And Maggie takes down the last guy of BKB, so that's 1 and 2 from game 1 out already. 2 Erangel. And Erangel, they came on 3rd place, right? So they're obviously really, really excited about taking out the competition this early.
Bandita's definitely heard what's going on around him. Going to be very cautious, at least for now, waiting it out.
The Kuma we've been talking about, their last snake got taken out. I believe they got 9th place. So their splits is not really working yet. We don't know what they're going to do as a full force, if we'll ever see that. But maybe we get to see them do a 3-1 split next game. Maybe your tactic games is what they need.
The 3-1, which means we've got a unit that can fight and get some kills. And if all goes wrong, we've got one player to get the points if required.
We actually done in a tournament where we did a 3-1 split, and then I was the lone guy, and I managed to finish out the game. That was quite interesting.
You feel good after that, right? You're
Yeah.
like, I did it.
I was like, hey team, there's no way I can team up with you. Just play with you and I do my own thing here.
Oh, Gonzo, okay. He's gone down there. So welcome to the lobby. Have started to approach onto Avangar. Can they hold off here? Avangar getting attacked by both teams as well because OMGG's there as well. Baltazar making his way up, pushing forward. Got a teammate close by to him. But this is where the circle's got smaller. Everything gets a little bit more chaotic. With 8 teams remaining, there's a lot of space to fight for, which is going to make it very hard for all these teams trying to contend for these spots.
One thing I want to point out that I'm a little bit disappointed with. Both OGG and Welcome to the Lobby saw America have 2 knock people, but they don't push onto it. So America, they're getting the best sleep and they're turning onto Welcome to the Lobby.
Oh! Mackie tries to hold on there, but pressure comes up towards him. Gonzo's been eliminated as well.
Is that all? America out?
7 teams remaining. Is that Avangar done for? Wait to see. M19 are putting the hurt on now, though. They're starting to kick up a little bit here.
M19 is fighting Team Romania here, I believe it is. And are they down to just Thanos? M19 is not holding onto this warehouse very well. And Thanos is getting 3rd party right now.
Shot from all sides. He will then
That's
be eliminated.
M19 out in 7th.
6 teams remain. Romania just with 2 players alive by the looks of it.
Respectable. Holding on to 4 people for this long and then staying alive for 1 more circle towards the station stages. It's circle 6, I believe, right now. I mean, it's not ideal, but managing to have 4 alive and then 3 to compound and still have 2 alive after that feels really good. And we're probably guaranteed like a top 5 position now for Romania.
Now look who's being sneaky again. Mr. Lux over there. No one's firing on him. He's just looking for cover and trying to stay up. Poser taking shots through the smoke, seeing if he can make any connect.
Romania's pushing on to Team Ace here.
Oh no, he didn't check it. His teammate's there luckily to help out, but is this going to be a little bit of a 1v1 battle now? Mitchell well away with the player nearby.
Lutz actually finishes on Hopa. And Lutz is our solo guy. He has to
His position is going to be known. He has to be able to fight this out. 2 interesting and very different style battles going on here. Mitsu cannot push into this. He's outnumbered. He needs a little bit of help from elsewhere. Lutz heard what's going on, and he's like, okay, I can come into the fray. They might help each other out unintentionally.
Yeah, and you can always make the... Wait, did the Lutz get finished? I believe he did.
Oh, he got
and
knocked
we're down
down.
to 4 teams left with only 10 people alive. So that can't be very healthy teams in the terms of members. I believe we see 2 duos. And Team 7 down at the bottom, they're the one that's looking the strongest. And Team 5, who is that? That's Welcome to the Lobby, I believe. So Team 7 and Team 5 are looking very healthy, whereas Romania and Ace, they're down to 1 and 2. So we have Epic. Epic, they've been playing really well, I think. They're just staying together, taking the fights. And they've managed to stay alive with all 4 people here.
And if Epic got a win here, they were in 4th place before this game started. We've seen them up on that kills. Getting it done across the board. Misses really nice position. He jumps up. How does he get away with the first kill? Looking for the second. Champion's there, but he can't get it done. Champion manages to save the day, but he will die out regardless. He's then finished off by Epic, who hear what's going on. And welcome to the lobby. They're now battling it out.
I really like Welcome to the Lobby's position here. They have a bridge they can work with, but it's going to be really hard where the next circle goes, because they don't have a lot to space to move on the both of them once this closes in. So will Welcome to the Lobby have enough of bridge to work with, or does Epic just have to run into the open here?
Leader there for Epic. He needs some meds. He needs to get himself healed up.
Yeah.
Welcome to the lobby. I've got 3 players alive, and they've relatively got some good health to play with.
Welcome to the Lobby was the guys who was fighting BML earlier in this
Yeah.
game, and they had nothing to begin with, but they've been managed to stay alive. They have 5 kills now. Hopefully they could scam some stuff off America. Eclipse has a Groza. This is looking really good for Welcome to the Lobby if they can stay in the circle long enough.
Grenades going out, trying to force players out of position. Tron is in a very nice spot here. He's just scouting around, looking at what's going on around him. And at least it means that if Welcome to the Lobby want to push in against his teammates, he can provide that cover fire.
That's really tough, though. I think this is going to be a waiting game, and then who's going to have to move first? Like, who's going to have to leave their hard cover?
By the looks of it, it's going to be...
It's going to be so close.
Yeah, I think it's Epic who are just on the rough side of it.
Wait, didn't Epic just get the zone here? I think I saw them just get the zone, so I think Welcome to the Lobby actually have to run into Epic here. It's so close. Like even though Epic has the zone here, there's no cover if they have to leave the warehouse. So even though the circle's close to them, we don't actually know who have to move first. 25 seconds, and I guess we'll see. This is gonna come down to the wire, James.
Are they aware that Tron's in that position? Because he's not made any noise yet. He's just been holding that position, allowed his two teammates to go in. Flames are on the floor. The Molotov has been dropped down, but it's not going to tag up any of Epic. And Leader's now got his health back up as well.
I don't know if you know about Tron, but
no, Tron could be the
ace. I don't know if it matters because of the circle. Like, it all depends on who has to move first. I couldn't tell you, James.
It is so tight. It is going to be right to the wire.
Mm.
And it's an even fight, at least in the sense of numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guess nobody wants to like take the risk of peeking now and getting knocked. I think the teams are like the same as us. They're like, who has to move first? Who has to move first?
They're trying to work it out.
We're just gonna see whoever gets closer to the blue first, and then we're gonna hold our ankles.
Will Tron have to move before his teammates? Because that would be interesting.
Yeah, that might be a thing. That's why I couldn't tell you if his position was as good as you initially pointed out. It's so hard to say.
Yeah, no, Tron's going to have to move first, which means when he jumps up, he needs to come out all guns blazing, and then his teammates going to have to back him up. This needs to be a coordinated defense.
But if you look at it, like, they can't even backing up because we see, I think it's Wednesday's in the warehouse, and he doesn't have anything to peek from because there can only be one shooting out of the door at the time. So he's just standing there biding his time. He's essentially waiting for Leader to die or make a hero player move out.
And this is not a circle you want to take damage from either.
Oh, no.
Oh, Tron. He's got plenty of meds, but it's not going to help him that long.
Yeah, so it looks like Tron has to move straight away, and there's no way he gets out of that, I don't think.
Welcome to the lobby. They've at least won.
Look at Tron, he's dying to the blue.
Tron jumps out, and he actually gets a knock. How was he able to get that done? He then dies down to the blue, but it worked out quite well to start off with. Welcome to the lobby. Pounce as Epic come out of the compound, and it will be Welcome to the lobby walking away with that victory. And with a total of 7 kills. So not a massively high kill game for him, but they were in multiple fights.
Had such a tough game, though, thinking about it. How long they had to stay in the blue, then they had to fight one of the top teams in Erangel on top of that hill, and then they managed to stay ahead of it. And really well played to them. And that's... We've been talking about rotations. These guys obviously nailed it this game.
I think there's one thing that, at least for Epic's point of view, is every time you got to look at it, right, you're seeing that circle come in, you think, I got to make a decision here, and I got to make it fast. Tron, he acted very well to be able to get a knock off the back of that position. He was being forced out. The blue was starting to tag him down, and he still walked away with at least a knock. He definitely pulled his weight and helped out there. I think when that happened, really the ideal situation would have been that then they just went in for the fight. Instead, they waited till afterwards, and Welcome to the lobby. Like you said, they had that ridge, worked out quite well for them.
But I think with these circles, Welcome to the lobby, the game was 100% theirs. And the only way that the Epic could have turned it around was if they had any utility left. But obviously, when you come like this late into a game, you already fought. I think they had 5 or 6 kills before this.
Yeah.
So they probably used a lot of the utility to get to where they were. But let's say they had a bunch of smokes, they had a bunch of nades. Maybe they could have thrown some smokes, got a knock with a nade, and then they could all have pushed. But without utility, there's just no way that Welcome to the lobby doesn't come out ahead, I don't think. Unless you see some insane shots that are unhuman.
And you got Buzzkill Bros here. They start up with a good push onto the OMGG team. But they didn't get to finish up much towards the end here. Flex, again, they started off on the Kuma. It was looking very strong for them. This 2-2 split that Kuma tried to pull off.
Right. This is one team we've been talking a bit about. They've been fighting a lot, but they just managed to not move ahead in the circle, and then they get punished for it, right? You see them here coming in super late from the blue. Epic just easily cleans them off because they come in with like less than half HP. So, you hate to see it, 4 people in one vehicle.
Yeah, that's what because that's the bit we missed, right? Where we thought we were going to see it on the replay. That was their chance to BKB to escape.
To see it. And I can't remember where PKB landed, but more vehicles are great, guys. don't trust whoever your driver is. Just don't try to sit for in a vehicle. Look for some more if you can. And here we see Magi. They obviously put up a great defense on the hill, but they did get pushed by Welcome to the Lobby. That ended up winning the game, and OMG did hurt them a bit as well. And it's really, really tough to stay on top of the hill when you can get attacked by multiple angles. Here, I honestly love the way that Miso played this. When he got up on the roof, I really wanted him to take it. That's such an awesome play. That to have the confidence and just jumping up on the roof, even though you know there's other teams around. He managed to get another kill out of it, and you know, he didn't secure a high placement, but he got at least one more placement point, and he made a cool play. And here, you can just see how easy it is. Like, they're not breaking a sweat. They know they have this all along.
It came straight out to him. Now, there's one thing there that you spoke about Miso, right, and how he jumped over there, the quick decision-making that came into it. That overall is a risk versus reward, right? He made the jump anyway, and it worked out for him. He managed to then get the kill, and then went in for the second one, and it was so close. But it takes a lot of skill to be able to make that jump alone, right? And under pressure, you've got the circle coming in on you.
Especially under pressure is what I want to say. When you're in a public game, you're not playing for $2.5 million.
No, it's just, there you go, right? You can do it. You can have a go, oh, okay, I died. Just queue up again, no problem. Not the case here. A very different scenario is how it works
It's awesome to see when people just, you know, let go of their nerves and just, you know, try to make the big plays.
And that's what he had to do, right? He was the only one left for his team. He had to come up with some style points in it, and he certainly got them done.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm impressed so far. Now, Avangard, they went in for that battle. They had that hilltop area as well. They were fighting off so many teams. But it was like a third party. Like, everyone came in to finish them off.
That's honestly my biggest problem with Miramar as well, is choosing or, like, taking the right decisions when to take fights. Because it's really teasing to just shoot at everything all the time, right? But if you do that, you will get third-partied. So I think the hardest part about Miramar is actually learning when you can fight people and when you need to say, I know our team is really aggressive, we like to shoot at stuff, but we need to actually relax a bit.
So do you think in that kind of scenario, right, some of these teams need to think, is it maybe time I back away? Maybe I don't need to go for it? Is that what we're kind of looking at?
I'm just trying to say on Miramar, it's really, really hard to decide the right time to actually take fights. Just because of the third-party potential. There's so many ridges and hills, and when you want to shoot the stuff, you usually have to go out of your cover and then look like down from the hill, so expose yourself from all the other angles, if that makes sense. And that's what makes it so hard to actually play Miramar and choose the right fights.
And that's why we saw that happen to Avangard. They got completely bested on it.
They managed to get like top 10-ish with like 5 or 6 kills, so they did something, but
it's just they became the target, the #1 target on the very top.
But that's the thing, right? You do become the target, and we'll just have to see if people adapt to it, or we'll see more teams get maybe punished for being a little bit too aggressive earlier on in the Miramar games.
Now, Be My Loot, right? We spoke about them. They get the first game win. We see what they can do here on Miramar. And it wasn't very much like they played terrible, but it was just they got picked off early.
Right?
Yeah, they didn't really have a chance to get anything done. And then they were sat there thinking, okay, now we have to try and get out of this. And they'd already lost one player. Then they were getting sprayed down.
It could have been a completely different game for them if they actually had a city alone to begin with, because we saw them leaving, all of them with absolutely no gear.
That's sometimes just the way it goes. And what's going to happen next is we're going to go to a break. But when we come back, Game 3 will be coming your way. And we're moving to Erangel next. Maybe we'll see a big change come into play on how these teams do it. You'll find out after the break.
Do you play PUBG Mobile? Maybe you never run out of stamina. Maybe you're always aware of your surroundings. Maybe you're an amazing cook with the pan. Maybe you're a great driver. But as soon as you hear the sound of an airplane, you get into the zone. In PUBG Mobile, you all come from different walks in life. But you face the same dangers on the battleground. And you become friends. You work together to overcome the obstacles. This is PUBG Mobile. There's a number one in all of us. Welcome to the PUBG Mobile first anniversary party. PUBG Mobile, be the one.
1 year ago today, PUBG Mobile went online in over 200 countries. On the 1 year anniversary of the game, we're here with you to witness the honor and the glory. The Anniversary Royale Pass will go live as scheduled with the usual variety of rewards and a load of anniversary exclusive items, such as the brilliant anniversary outfit, the retro anniversary set, and the L&Q Chicken M762 finish. Don't miss out. PUBG Mobile, be the one. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up, so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass, you deserve it. Royale Pass Season 6 is here. This season's theme is 1 year anniversary of PUBG Mobile, with lots of rare items. We've also added lots of more realistic and hardcore items to your Royale Pass rewards. Turn yourself into an elite soldier. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up, so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass.
Ha! Gotcha. Royale Pass. You deserve it.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Yo, Mike, are you ready? Wait. Should I go with the UMP9 or UC?
Sun's out, guns out.
Gear up for summer.
Ready?
Okay. Well,
Ready?
sorry. I'm late.
Any plans for fall break?
Happy graduation! You made it, bro. So proud of you.
Sorry I'm late. What a day.
I hear ya.
Get
Come
this.
on!
Hey!
Watch out! Take this!
That's
Hey!
some real battleground.
Are you ready?
We're already on to our third match of day one here at the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2019. As always, you've got myself, Banks, and Larson to take you through all the action. And we go to Erangel, which means, we'd like to say it means that we know what's going to happen. But when it comes to the mobile side of things, some of these players do things very differently, right? We see different splits, we see different ways they approach it. Obviously, we speak about the point system and how much that impacts how it all goes down as well.
Yeah.
So I think for both of us here, we can take as much knowledge as we want from what we know in traditional PUBG on PC, and we throw it out the window, and we say, we'll wait till week one's underway, and we go, okay, now we start to get things that are constant patterns.
That is true, but one thing I do want to kind of point out that we talked about a little bit earlier is Erangel is a map that's been out the longest. Everybody has played it the most, and I feel like every single player that plays PUBG, that might be a stretch, but I feel like they're the most confident on Erangel. And one thing that I personally like the most about Erangel is, let's take Vikendi. It's very compound heavy. Miramar, it's like you play ridges, it's really hard to do rotations. On Erangel, I don't know if it's because it's been out so long, but I feel like you can do good rotations in vehicles throughout the entire game. There's good compounds and there's good terrain to play. So it's kind of like a hybrid of Miramar and Vikendi, whereas Vikendi is like really compound heavy, and Miramar is like there's a lot of ridges and stuff that you can play especially. I feel like Erangel is just a good mix in between, and it's really balanced because you can do really good rotations in vehicles, which you can on Vikendi, but on Miramar, because of the terrain, you can't really drive so much. So I just feel like you're gonna see a lot of, what do you call it, steadiness. A lot of teams perform really well on Erangel.
Yeah, I think we are our most competitive game, right? Like in terms of what we expect from these players, what we expect from the teams, how this kind of dynamic should work. And I think this is like, because we've seen Vikendi and we've seen Miramar, and I think this will give us the opening of saying, all right, these are the teams who are a little bit more well-drilled, or the teams we look at to be the most consistent in how it all plays out.
To your point, though, that doesn't... You have to be good at all maps, sadly, though, if you want to make it all the way.
Yeah. This is it, right? This is not where you just go, oh, it's Erangel and Miramar only. This is every map being played at some point across all of the groups, which means no matter what you're doing, you need to be well-versed in all of it. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges, right? Because if we start to see patterns where we go, all right, cool, this team's very good at Vikendi. Oh, this team's very good at Miramar. Well, ultimately, Erangel's still the most played map, but you need to be able to play everything.
Definitely. And usually, like, in all the tournaments I've seen, there's more than 2 spots.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit more leeway, so you could say one team is really good on one map. Then maybe that can carry them through. But when you're fighting for 2 positions, you need to be really, really, really well-rounded. And thus far, I think Erangel, I want to say, has been the most consistent in the first 2 games.
Definitely in terms of placements,
and if they can step it up on Erangel, they might be my favorite so far. But it's 2 games and we haven't seen Erangel. And it's only 16 out of 32 teams in all of Europe that are competing for these 2 spots. So it's a bit of a stretch. But I'm just saying, in these 2 games, they've shown a lot of promise, right? And they kind of been demonstrating a lot of the basics to just do all right. And be consistent. And consistency is very, very important when you play this many games.
And this is the thing, right? The point that I really need to highlight here for everyone at home is 32 teams whittled down to just 2 that will make it all the way. That is a lot of games to be played. That's
when you say make it all the way, what are they making their way towards?
They get all the way to the at least finals to fight against all the other regions. That's all they're going to have. So they've got this whole road ahead of them for
and they're fighting for $2.5 million throughout this year.
The big bucks.
I just wanted to point out the money. I mean, who cares about the finals when you can, you know, enjoy winning the finals?
That's where you want to be, right? That's where you want to be. Now, for you, I bet you would have loved that when you were a player to be like, yep, I'm competing for 2.5 million. That would be heaven.
Yeah, I mean, I think the highest tournament we competed for was 2 million, and that went all right for us, so I can't complain. But definitely, when you play those kind of tournaments, you don't even think about the money. You're just like, I'm playing video games. The hardest part is, like, honestly, the way I want to compare these tournaments to. So when you're playing a qualifier, it's like preparing for your exams. You're super duper nervous, and it's probably the worst time of your life in the sense that you're really nervous and you have to put in a lot of work. When you then get to the big tournament, it's like the after party. You're just having fun. Obviously, you're playing for big money, but you don't have the nerves. You're at the tournament, and now you just have to do your best.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like the qualifiers is just super nerve-wracking, and I don't know how to explain it. That like when you go to school, it's like the tough exam coming up, and if you don't pass this, you're just, oh no.
So close, yet so far. That kind of moment. Now we will see all the teams get to their positions. Interestingly enough, no one's going up north, so that leaves Severny, Stalber, Kameski, Zaki, all kind of open at least for now. Will we get a military team as well?
It's looked kind of rough in this airplane, but Be My Loot, our winners from game 1, they have Pubg, and look what they also got. They have the center zone here. I like this. I was pointing out that there's nobody landing Picado, and that made me sad.
Now, just to give you an update on actually where the standings are after game 2. Be My Loot still in first place. They only just, though, 52 points. Epic coming up in second with 48 points. Buzzkill Bros with 43. And because Welcome to the Lobby, they may have won game 2, but they had not a terrible first game, but it wasn't a crazy game in terms of what they were able to achieve. They're now in 4th place with 42 as ASE sit just behind them in 5th. And Avangard have gone down from 4th to 6th.
And that is just because of the placement points. They're so heavy here. But being in 6th place is not terrible after 2 games. And
Certainly
especially
not.
if, let's just say, Erangel is their man. They might just take 2 games in a row now.
Cool.
But yeah.
I'd love to see who our first back-to-backs could be.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I'm really happy to see some consistency. And our top teams, Welcome to the Lobby and the Be My Loot, they're both in the top 4.
Yep.
They have really good points in this game here. Here we see Welcome to the Lobby, they're in Rasok, pretty much at the center north side of the zone. And then Be My Loot, they're in Pichengi, which is like the center south side. They're both sitting really comfortable. One thing I do think that I've seen lacking from all these teams here is I think they're maybe just either looting too slow or putting too much emphasis on loot, rather than just trying to actually take a good spot for you. I don't think I've seen a lot of people rotating, maybe that's after 3 minutes, 4 minutes,
Yeah.
to try and get a good spot in the zone. A lot of these people, they're like waiting until the blue actually pushes them. And that's what I would see like people do in public games, whereas like you're thinking, okay, we need to try to get the best average placement every game. We should maybe try and focus a bit more on positioning early on. But it's not something I see consistently a lot of these teams do. They're very content with just staying outside.
So in that terms of things, right, it's them needing to focus a little bit more on the smarter rotations potentially than just looting. We'll have to wait and see if some of them start to wake up to that. And they may start to realize, right, after the first day and say, all right, this is what we can improve on to make it easier for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And for example, here in a city like Yasnaya, we see, what is this? It's a Turkish team. What would they call it? It wasn't Epic, but we have K and
So
Team 2. It's Team 2 I'm looking at here. They don't have a clan tag, but either way, Yasnaya is such a big city that you can actually split it between 2 people, and you don't have to fight. But they're both putting a lot of effort into fighting this. We see Team 2, they grouped up as 4, and they're even thinking about pushing out to the K here. What a turn!
Valak looked like he had a drop on him as well. Should have been a good position for him, but he gets taken down. Now they're going to strike. His teammate round the corner. He's going to get finished off next. Are they going to be able to hold on to this at all? They're getting some cover as Robdini, he tries to hold in. 2 of his players gone down. Valak bleeding out.
Actually, on that, Robdini is the last man standing for his Team K here. And my point is, you're the last guy standing for your team. You need to run now, Robdini. You don't want to fight them. But he was staying around, then he does decide to eventually run away.
And that's really nice from Hero. They actually managed to hold on to what they had there. They keep themselves going. And now they're in a position where we've still got 4 alive. We've taken out 1 team already, bar 1 player. And we can sit comfortably for that little bit longer here.
But look at this. The Romanian squad is posted up in Yasnaya for some reason, and Robdini almost runs into them. Probably by accident, but...
He's like, I'm going to back away from that one. This is an error. I don't want to go forward to my death. And he needs to play the long game here. Because still 15 teams remain. BML, the winners of game 1 on Vikendi. Just on your screens there as we go to look at the Romanian squad to see what they can do. Now, they seem to be aware of Robdini's position, but he's slowly getting himself out of it. He wants to say, all right, I've seen what's going on around me. I need to find myself some good spot here. I'll loot up a little bit further.
But wait, because I was looking correctly. It looked like he was running straight into Team Epic, who was also posted up at another set of apartments in Yasnaya, so we might see Robdini go down soon.
That would be an awful way for it to go down straight on the beginning. Not even into phase 2 just yet. Buzzkill Bros here got themselves some vehicles to work with. Epic do find a kill, but this time onto one of the Turk team.
Yeah, and it wasn't Rabdini that we were talking about, but I actually didn't realize we had 4 different teams there in Yasnaya.
They can see him. Wenzi should have been able to spot him. Maybe he's focused on some of the other fights going on around him, but there's 2 Epic players in that compound, and they'll be well aware now. There's more than just one team around here.
I think this is the right goal, that they shouldn't try and rush over to rest him, but if he can crawl into safety, he might be able to become rest. You can't go with that XP.
He's like, please, please, I don't want to stay.
I know I can't get over this, but I really, really want to. Maybe willpower will carry me over.
He just sat there like one hand on going, come on, I'll break the game. Let me do it.
And the worst thing about PUBG esports in comparison to other esports, if you die this early onto a round, you have to probably wait another like half an hour, 40 minutes until you get back into the action. And at least this is online, so he could, you know, do the other stuff. But otherwise you have to sit back. And actually Epic here is setting some really nice shots.
Epic looking to solidify themselves with some extra kills here and get some very vital points. Currently sat in 2nd place at the moment.
Yeah, they've been doing, I wouldn't say surprisingly, but they've just been on point with taking fights. I'm surprised though, they've had 2 knocks. Something you often see when top tier teams get 2 knocks, they maybe try to, you know, they have the advantage, then you want to press it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they've gotten a 3 point, I think, one of the players? No, they're actually both getting revived, so they hadn't gotten anything yet. But like I said, it's not worth it to just lose a player this early, but on the other hand, they're not really fighting for positioning because they're just on the edge of the circle up north. So I'm like, unless they really just want to say, hey, Yasnaya is my town, you cannot come back here, then I'm not sure what they're trying to do if they don't like press the advantage that they have.
Now Flex, we've seen them before. A team that's willing to take the fights.
In the blue?
In the blue. And then die out to them as well. It's very true. That's exactly what happened to them. It wasn't played smart by them, but they were hungry for the kills. But that's not the way you get it done. They're currently sat in 13th place overall.
Sadly, this is not a game of courage. And, you know, just because you're really, really happy with fighting people, it's not a bad thing. But you have to have a guy who can tell you, all right, this is not the time to fight. We have to get into the circle, and when we're in the position to fight, go ham. But if you get caught out of the wrong side, you're just gonna have such a tough time trying to get into it. And which is what happened to Flex that game. As soon as they popped out of the blue and came into the circle, in circle 4, they just got killed immediately.
This battle between Turk and Romania is still going on. Mitsu, we saw him before. Had that really nice position where he was able to jump over the house and get a bit of style points in there. But now he needs to have the individual skill as the next circle pops. And we're going over Pochinki, where BML currently sit. See everyone start to now make their decision on how they want to rotate round. And this is especially like when we get to this phase, it's a little bit tighter, right? We start to see things go down a little bit more in terms of the kills. The rotation kills start to come in. And this is where it comes back to your point, Larson, where you said rotations now have to be on point.
And you see Epic, they're deciding to disengage from this fight. Even though they had 2 knocks on earlier, they realized that we cannot stay here any longer. And actually Romania, they were the guys who were by the southern apartments with only 2 members, and for some reason have called in the remaining 2 members and now are trying to fight them. Even though we just saw the circle hard shift to the south, and they have a really long way to get into the zone. So I would just say if we had vehicles, we should maybe put more effort into saving ourselves, getting a position and trying to get a few extra points here. And let's just talk about Team 2. Have you seen their HP status? They do not have any meds because they've been under so much pressure this game.
Yeah, they've had multiple teams start to fire onto them.
They've literally fought 3 different teams.
They've had 2 players knocked down as well, at least from what we've seen. And there you go, Romania were going to back away. Tudor still able to get the knock though. Distance, firing it off with the VSS.
Wait. Did you just see what happened on the screen? Kuma were with 3 players. Are they doing the 3-1 split?
Yes!
I did not see the 4th player. I didn't even see him on the minimap. I don't know if they've lost one already, but they could actually maybe...
Just going to say I'm potentially the greatest understanding person of pro level PUBG Mobile.
If they're doing the 3-1, I really do hope they win. That would be amazing.
They're going to be the most diverse team.
No, one is driving away from them now, but they were 3 here.
So there's 3 in this zone. Where is the other player? Because
I need to know where the last Kuma player is.
Come and observe us. Give us all the Kuma players. Oh, here we go. Where is he? Okay.
He might be dead.
Oh,
he might have did the 1 split though.
The one split and die.
Yeah, so essentially a 3-1.
I'm going to have to go message these guys after. Like, guys, just explain to me what happened on game 3 so I can know whether my understanding of what you guys are trying to pull off worked or not. Yeah, and he is dead. That's it.
And
so just 3 alive.
They got breached.
Ooh, you can see what's going on. I'm not trying to fire off any shots just yet. Getting all the information to play off of.
And yeah, we don't know if Ace here is aware of Kuma's... Wait, did Socket just drive away? Or is he running? No, he's running, never mind. So we don't know if they're aware of Kuma being in this compound. So far, they're just running around, maybe checking for loot, maybe just relaxing a bit, but we don't know. This team could just have driven in here, and we see Kuma playing it very... Whoa.
Brodini, he's gone down.
That's unfortunate. At least there's only one guy in the buggy.
Now this is interesting for Kuma because they've been very chill on their trigger fingers. They're not trying to engage just yet. But Schlumpy is so far away. Epic still able to get extra kills up on the board though. A player dying out to the zone. Never ideal, never what you want to see.
No, definitely not this early on. It's bound to happen later on, but I think most people should be able to make it into zone 2.
Completely agree. Now Tudor, he's still got 3 members of his team, but are they going to be close enough to make it work?
They're
now,
fighting over the airdrop fired into the blue.
They love it. This is their tactic.
And this is epic. This is our second place team. They're just like, yeah, we got this. We want the level 3 stuff. And they did manage to get a knock onto one of the Romanian guys. I believe it was Misu. But he gets back up. Does he have time to pop a med? He does. But look at this. Like, I just saw...
Oh, that's nice. Slumpy starts to fire in when they try to get away. They're going to opt to have to back out of this now, but his teammates need to help him out. He can't just stand out in the open. Now he's going to be tapped up. He could even be finished off here.
He's going to get finished up because his 2 teammates are quote-unquote far away. This guy was playing alone. He could not be the guy who took initial contact. He would have to wait for potentially his teammate to get an opening and then, you know, come in. But he really overextended there.
I was just praising him as well about the trigger finger. It's like, oh, he's just waiting. He's not taking shots.
But like you saw, as soon as he got the knock, he ran into the open. Yeah, he's too excited. And look at this. Our number 1 and number 4 team find again, or yet again, right next to each other. This time at Pichengi.
That's scary. Oh, this is really nice from Socket. That's actually huge. Uses the bushes to his advantage, tries to play a little bit sneaky there, gets himself the initial knock, and this is where they're under so much pressure. A good well-placed nade is going to be very devastating for him here, but he needs Ramon to come alive and also help him out here.
Can he nail it? It looks like it off, though. No.
Oh, no, Socket! Okay, pressure is on. I understand it. It can happen, but my oh my man, you gotta try and line that up a little bit better. We've also got a bit of a firefight going on between FTP, OMGG as well, and BKB. There's a hell of a lot of firefights going on.
Down on the bottom right, you see one of our top teams, BKB, actually losing 2 players to FTP. FTP is a team we've seen been really good in firefights. And I think they just flushed 2 BKB's players.
How long can Kuma keep these guys pinned down in one compound? They're just waiting once again. Ramon's moved himself around as well. Socket's still shooting away. They've got themselves in a vehicle. This is where it's very dangerous. 4 men in a vehicle.
Yeah, but like, how long do you want to keep them pinned down? They're both not inside the safe zone, and whoever gets into this zone first might actually get the advantage. And see now, if Ace team here plays aggressive, they could just cut off Team Kuma here from inside the safe zone. But I don't think they're up to 2. And PKB, like we talked to, they're down to their last 2 players here. FTP managed to catch them up. They were split 2-2 in this low compound.
They're going to struggle to move around here. FDP is certainly marking them. Avangar still involved.
Ooh, what a shift.
BML and Welcome to the Lobby are sat there saying, thank you, RNG gods. You've given us all the circles we want. We don't have to move anytime soon, and we could be having a pachinki ending.
I was about to praise Erangel for the replacement on top of the hill, but then I saw the zone and was like, yoink.
That's not what you want.
No. AC, they were the team we were told just before. They had to rotate 4 people in the US, and they made it into Pichengi. I think they might have lost 1 in the rotation, but getting into Pichengi this early before it gets fully infiltrated by the teams is really, really important. So well played to them that they made it in.
I think one of the Kuma players is going to die to the circle as well.
No.
Depending on how many meds he's got, he's going to have to be ever so careful.
No. Your 3-1 genius split didn't work out.
I take back what I said.
It might not. I mean, it could have been the execution. Maybe the plan was there. They just executed it poorly.
There you go. We're
You
saving
can have a chat with them overnight and give them some hints.
Larson, I like you more and more. You're making me feel better about this.
And yeah, I think.
And that's how you throw an A. There you go. That's better. Up the window.
Ooh.
Close by as well. They got to be. Every position these guys take, they're like, oh, we're running into another team. Oh, we can't find a spot. They probably just want a little bit of a breather.
It looks like they're getting the breather right now. They're just sitting there, barely moving. Only Kotoyo taking a few shots here, actually connecting onto. Was it Flex that finishes up? It is.
Wow.
He gets 2.
A double not coming in there. They tried to position themselves around. They wanted to avoid Ace in the corner, and instead they walked straight into the firefight coming out from Flex. So welcome to the lobby. Under pressure, very split apart between these like kind of 3 compounds here.
Is this M19 fighting here, getting reached? It is.
Roger trying to back away. FTP looking to push up onto it. Some of them got some low health, but he's just, oh, he jumps out the window. Great timing. Climbs into the next one. He's keeping himself going. Roki, how are you getting away with this? Sorka's gone down. Roger's trying to stay up in it. More shots coming in. This is nuts.
I paid attention to the kill feed there. M19 were getting held by their fellow defense from Erangel. Erangel actually managed to take out 2 of the guys pushing from FTP, and then Rogue came out huge there.
They're dropping utility down. The grenades are coming out. Avangard is picking them apart, like you said, from far away. Very nice.
I think M19 managed to stay alive with at least 2 and they still have 1 knock, but for FTP it doesn't look great. They're down to 1 member and then however many knocks are remaining, but it's going to be such a tough time moving out from that tower.
The fact that Roger was able to stay alive during all of that was just crazy. Jumps out the top window, goes back in the lower window, heals himself back up. FTP are trying to chase him all over the place, and they're like, where's he gone?
And whilst they were all chasing down Raji, it was just Avangard picking them apart until they finally got 1 member inside the Wizard Tower.
And yeah, so Hate Hope went down a lot earlier. So actually Sorka, who was the first player knocked, and he was stuck outside, he still managed to stay alive. Impressive.
Yeah, and welcome to the lobby, managed to get 1 of the knocks up from Flex. And somehow, one of Flex's members got knocked too. But this is what happens when you get so many teams running to each other. It's like, okay, A is going to shoot onto B, and then C or D is going to shoot one of those 2 teams shooting. So it's extremely hard to also pick your fights here. Ooh. And would you look at that? Who's looking good here? Wait, did we say that maybe this map belongs to Erangel?
They're looking like they could make it theirs for sure. As more grenades are going up. M19 looking to deal the damage. Thanos, he's getting tagged up through little gaps in the window. Sorka's also been knocked down. Avangard, they're unrelenting there. Constant firing.
I expect Avangard to pick up tons of kills because everybody but Chenki has to move out and they have the perfect line of sight for it.
They're like, look at our open field. Walk towards us and we will spray you down.
I miss the good old Pachinki endings. They're, I wouldn't say they're awesome and great, but they're really not. They're so crucial and harsh for people.
Oh no.
Could this... Wait.
No! Oh! DKB! He thought he was in a good position. I was worried they were just going to run him over. Flex tried to jump into the car. They don't expect him to just be sat behind it. And he just starts spraying onto him.
I think he panicked because they reversed for a second.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, they're going to run me over.
Because if he had a grenade, that would have been the vital, like, yep, I'm going to blow you guys completely and I'm going to get this win.
His teammate Tomato had a nade though and managed to get 1 knock. But what are you going to do now? You're against 3 players of Flex. And the blue is pushing onto you, Tomato. Are you sure you wanted to make this initial contact? I don't think so.
Not going to work out though. Andrew Lime with the kill. A good effort. A very rough spot to fight from. Epic though, they're still up and in it. Welcome to the lobby finals as well.
Oh no. 3, 2,
oh, no.
1.
What?
Wait, hello? There we go. Why would you flex? Flex.
This was the like suicide car run.
To be fair, we have talked about Flex's rotations. They need to work on that for the next upcoming days. They're great fraggers, but the rotations, not so much. You see M19 on the fire.
He was just pushing forward and saying, I got this. We're going to get to some sort of safety.
Yeah, there's so many teams on the fight here. M19 and Erangel have to lock down their position. We saw welcome to the lobby. They pushed them to Erangel's compound. And M19, they're fending up the rest. I didn't see where BML is going on to, but they're still alive. They're fragging out.
Socket from Kuma is still able to do some damage. Finds himself a kill onto leader.
Wait. Oh.
He's still alive. He's still fighting, and there's top 9 teams. It's not too bad for
That's
him.
their best placement yet, almost.
BML still within it as well, fighting out. 1 player knocked, 3 still alive, but they are under fire. OMGG just trying to edge his way forward there.
Erangel actually taking heavy damage here.
Yeah, I don't think they expected the pressure to come so close to him here. They had good distance between them and many of the other teams, but now that's been whittled away out.
Surprising mistakes here is loud. But we see the most intense firefighters. Welcome to the lobby versus Erangel. And
Yeah.
Erangel is split, like, they're 3 guys in there, 1 building each, so he really has to pull it off here. The circle actually shifted away. It went up towards the hill, and everybody who's in a building, they're not going to feel great anymore.
This has become a difficult position to
So
fight
look at
from.
Kuma, they're doing it. They have the zone right now. Maybe you are a genius after all, James.
It's worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Kuma, they knew this from the start.
They listened to you last game and they're like, well, if James says it, it can't go wrong.
Considering you're the X4, I really hope that was Champion pushes out, he's standing up, he's taking shots. He's now going to try and work his way across as the smokes are down in front of M19. He's got the crate in front of him as well. Is there any goodies for him to find? We'll have to wait and see.
How long can he keep the goodies though? Oh, Erangel is here.
Now is forever not be
M19 gets into a vehicle, get finished off for what?
Champion?
Place? Yeah, I mean, Champion killed
Wow.
1 and the other one got back to the place one, I believe.
BML though. They be my loot, they're getting the frags as well. Managing to hold on. Erangel, they do need to work out how they're going to deal with welcome to the lobby. 2 players pushing up on him. Gonzo, proned and ready. He's being Mr. Snake over here. Interesting attire for him to wear as well.
I mean,
You got to love the skins in this.
I truly do. There's so many great skins.
I want some of these skins in main game.
I want all of them.
Even that one we just saw, is that your style?
I would wear that. Erangel holding on for dear life, but welcome to the lobby, managing to get close up to the building with 2 alive. BML, our game 1 winner, and still overall number 1 on the leaderboards. They're doing great.
Yeah.
They were in Pubg and somehow managed to drive up on the hill. I saw Epic and another team was occupying this hill, and they managed to take down Epic, which apparently, I assume BML just ran them over. Which were our 2nd place. So BML looking fantastic here. Kuma, after listening to James' advice, they're staying in. Welcome to the lobby. They're struggling against Erangel here. And Erangel absolutely needs to take down welcome to the lobby because they're currently ahead of them. And I think he finished the knock. They're still 1 man up and welcome to the lobby. But they should be able to clean them out. Wait,
Shooting each other. That's not how you want to do it. They're trying to find Jonathan. They don't want to shoot each other up. And then he finally goes down. Welcome to the lobby eliminated. 3 teams remain. We've got Erangel, Be My Loot, and good old Kuma.
Yeah. And this is the consistency we need to see. It's awesome to see Erangel and Kuma turning up today. On, oh, well, not on, but across all 3 maps.
Now the thing is from Kuma here, they've not really made too much noise, right? They've taken a few shots, so people are aware where their position is, but they could have easily moved. Now nades are going out towards them, are only going to connect. BML, they're out in the open, but they've actually got a good spot in terms of where the circles now move to. It's Erangel who are going to struggle to try and push their way out. They're going to have to drop many smokes down if they've got them.
So what Kuma needs to do, they need to wait for BML and Erangel to fight, and if they see a few knocks from each side, that's when Kuma needs to strike.
Billy manages to get the knock onto Gonzo. So Gonzo's out in the open, now trying to hide behind the car. More nades coming out, and actually the circle damage is going to come in. Gonzo surely is going to struggle to get away from this, and his teammates are going to have to leave him be.
I want to point out one thing we see before. We actually see 1 return here, but what is it? We have the one Erangel guy who's healing in the blue, and he tried to do it again. He obviously gets second out, and Erangel goes out in 3rd place. Terry out, DGR. I remember in game 1 he was trying to heal in the blue, and he tried to do it again. But now, as I was trying to say before, Kuma's chance of winning was to strike as Erangel and PML were fighting. PML obviously, for a few nades over here, they have an idea Kuma's here, and Kuma's just letting them revive. So I expect to see another clean victory for PML here, but do you think Kuma has what it takes to pull it off?
If they could do this, this would solidify them as a top team in terms of being able to perform. Because this is 2v4, your position's known, and yes, you think, oh, okay, we've got the circle for now, but you missed your opportunity, like you were saying, right? They had that small window where they needed to attack.
But that's what comes with experience, right?
Yeah.
These guys, they probably nerve-wracking. They're like, oh my god, there's 6 people alive. We just want to stay alive a little bit longer. But I can just go to the...
Fuck it, spraying them down. Enzo's like, okay, I've got bullets for days. We're getting towards the end. I'm just going to try to finish you off. Now, grenades and other utilities going to start to be slowly whittled away at. Enzo's just going out for it. He's like, okay, wherever you're hiding, I'm going to come in strong. He's going to be the point man leading this charge. Sucky gets shot, only one player left alive. Ramon's going to hold on, but it's not going to happen. And we get our first team with 2 wins. It's Be My Loot.
And they do it with style again. I mean, they have 9 kills, so about half of what they had last time, but getting 9 kills under these circumstances, you have to remember, they landed in Pubg. I think they stayed in Pubg until at least circle 5 or 6. And then they had to drive all the way across the field, and then they fought all the teams on the hill and actually managed to hold it down. So even under pressure, PML shows up. And I think the fluke in game 2 was just that they just had that really unfortunate beginning. So Be My Loot looking really strong here.
Very impressive start from them. And I think as well, we've got to say, right, Avangard probably, what's the worst place they've had is like top 6? So placement-wise, they've had good placements considerably across all 3 games now. They just finished in 3rd there. They got unlucky on where the circle ended up pushing out from. But Kuma, they capitalized on everyone because everyone was firing off for so long. They stayed at the longest, almost getting killed off by the circle, we were saying, right? It was like, this is looking rough, guys. We're going to make a move. And then they end up coming in 2nd place.
It definitely seems like Kuma's playstyle is just, I'm a snake, follow me. They really don't want to fight people too much. I mean, we had the one guy that was a little bit too trigger happy over by the houses, by the night house almost. But other than that, they've been very like laying low, just trying to play for placements almost. And that's kind of the problem when you look too much at like the scoreboard system sometimes, that you have to keep on playing your own game. I think they're putting way too much emphasis on that. Okay, if you get 1st place, you get 30 points, and the kill is only 1 point. You still want to fight people and like play together, and don't only play for placements alone, because you have to kill people in order to get good placements as well. So I would like to see Kuma actually try and fight people rather than just, you know, singing staying alive. I feel like that's their gameplay right now, and I would like to, you know, just be a little bit more aggressive, because if you don't play as a team, I don't think they have a real shot of qualifying on through.
And I think if you're looking at it honestly for Kuma, it's, yes, okay, you've proven that you can kind of get your way through on some of these games, but there were multiple chances there. We see that funny nade come up on your screen he has to run away from. It's amazing that he was still managing to hold on. He was one of the last players alive. But
do you think that's why they're not trying to fight people?
What, because he hasn't practiced all those nades and he's like, maybe this isn't what I want to do.
They're afraid of hurting themselves. And here we see Erangel helping out M19, staying alive a little while longer, taking down most of the FTP members. Ultimately, the circle just didn't go in M19's favor this game.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing we can do. We saw them try to get in a vehicle and cross the field, but there's no way they get past Erangel and whoever is holding them down at that point. This could have been such a good play from Doctor, but he lost it. And this...
this was the crazy one.
You just don't want to do that.
That was like some anime-style ending, where just everyone just drives forward, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're like, are they going to come back?
He has a car on fire. You have a better chance of running on fit, maybe getting like a few more points from kills or getting high placement. You don't just want to try to drive across the field with a burning car. Here, we've seen so much consistency from the other teams, which I'm really happy to see. And it's gonna, you know, gonna get switched up, because every day we get a new lobby with 8 different teams in. So it might change, because here in this game, we know that welcome to the lobby, they, for example, have Rosak alone, but let's say tomorrow or the day after, if they're playing again, they're going to get hot up by another team. That might change drastically how a team performs on a map.
And that's the thing, right? None of these teams can sit there and be, oh, yes, this is ours. This is what we know is going to be our spot to play from. Because, yes, today it worked out for them. But going into tomorrow, it could be a completely different scenario. And even now, though, we get our second game. It's our first time, right, of having 2 maps back-to-back.
Yeah.
And we're going into match 4, the final match of the day.
I don't think we'll see 4 teams land in Yasnaya. Sorry for interrupting you.
They may look at that and go, nah, that wasn't the best play last time. But what we might see is some teams go, when they do want to change up, right, some of these United teams might say, actually, I see a bit of space over here. I'll try and take that because we saw no military team, no one up towards Saverny or anything like that. Everyone was staying more center field. So we'll have to see how it pans out. But what we will have to do now is go to a break. We've got one more match coming your way. It's going to be Erangel once again. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere because plenty more PUBG Mobile action coming your way.
Do you play PUBG Mobile? Maybe you never run out of stamina. Maybe you're always aware of your surroundings. Maybe you're an amazing cook with the pen. Maybe you're a great driver. But as soon as you hear the sound of an airplane, you get into the zone. In PUBG Mobile, you all come from different walks in life. But you face the same dangers on the battleground. And you become friends. You work together to overcome the obstacles. This is PUBG Mobile. There's a #1 in all of us. Welcome to the PUBG Mobile first anniversary party. PUBG Mobile. Be the one.
1 year ago today, PUBG Mobile went online in over 200 countries. On the 1-year anniversary of the game, we're here with you to witness the honor and the glory. The Anniversary Royale Pass will go live as scheduled with the usual variety of rewards and a load of anniversary exclusive items, such as the brilliant anniversary outfit, the retro anniversary set, and the L&Q Chicken M762 finish. Don't miss out. PUBG Mobile. Be the one. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass. You deserve it. Royale Pass Season 6 is here. This season's theme is 1-year anniversary of PUBG Mobile with lots of rare items. We've also added lots of more realistic and hardcore items to your Royale Pass rewards. Turn yourself into an elite soldier. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass.
Ha! Gotcha. Royale Pass. You deserve it.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Yo, Mike, are you ready? Wait. Should I go with the UMP9 or UC?
Sun's out, guns out.
Gear up for summer.
You ready?
Okay. Well,
Ready?
sorry. I'm late.
Any plans for fall break?
Happy graduation! You made it, bro. So proud of you.
Sorry I'm late. What a day.
I hear ya.
Get Come on! Hey!
Watch out! Take this!
This is a real battleground.
Are you ready?
We're down to our final match of day one, and it has gone ever so fast. As always, me and Larson are back to deliver you the final game of commentary. It's going to be Erangel again, but let's give them a bit of a standings update, Larson, because it's got a bit crazy at the top.
It's
91 points for Be My Loot, and that's 65 placement points across 3 matches and 26 kills. But interestingly enough, first game was 17 kills, so they've only gained 11 since that point. Second place, Avangard with 63. Third place, Welcome to the Lobby with 60. And guess what? Kuma have snuck their way in. 4th place with 52 points.
What? I thought they had 2 really...
3-1 split.
I thought they had 2 horrendous games prior to this one, but apparently they figured it out. I was being pretty harsh on them, but since they managed to solidify that 2nd place the last game, they've snuck them up to 4th place.
They heard what we were saying, and they were like, we're going to prove you wrong.
You said they were around, what, 40 points? Or how many points do they have?
They have... Where have they gone?
They just disappeared off your computer.
Oh, my God.
So something's wrong.
Okay, this is how good the website
I was
is.
watching his screen as well.
It's live updated.
They just disappeared, yeah. He didn't refresh or anything.
What the hell?
Oh, this is a nice airplane.
They're now in 9th place.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think that Kuma had that many points.
Oh, I take away my moment of celebration. I celebrated far too early.
Well, who knows? Let's just... I mean, we know that Be My Loot, Erangel, and Welcome to the Lobby. They have a amazing start to this tournament, and they've had 3 really good games. I mean, Be My Loot have 1 bad game, but they have 2 wins.
I just want to say, Larson, you saw that. It definitely said Kuma is 4th.
I saw when it was Kuma and 4th. But I was just like...
What?
There's no way they've gotten 60 points over those 3 games, because their first 2 games, I don't
so
think they had
bad.
any kills. And they might have got like round between 8th and 10th place. But yeah, you know. This airplane, though, if you're a player, James, you're absolutely in love with this.
Yes.
Straight across the middle, and pretty much any teams that wants to go anywhere, they can make it to their loot destination, because most teams have like designated loot spots, and this is just like an all-around good airplane for everyone. Erangel can make their way down to Milta Power. BML makes it to Vikendi. Welcome to the loot. Back to Rostock. And there's still 2 teams in Yasnaya, so we're 2 shorter. The Romanians are not there. And can't decide what we call the other guys, because they have one guy with the name Turk, one guy with the name Hero, and I don't know.
So they're down as Team Hero, but...
Yeah, I mean, Team Hero and Epic is in your side now. That's fine, right? But we had 2 more teams in the last game.
A little bit less contested, at least. The Circle's popped in a pretty fair spot as well.
I actually missed the Circle. Where is it?
Kind of like center, over Pachinki, a little bit up towards the north, just below Severny.
Okay, so nobody's like, you're like, oh, they're going to have a really tough beginning.
It's not like a super hard rotate for anyone.
I would call them phase circles, but just the really hard Milta Power circles is sort of full of water where there's no playable areas. So unless you land the Milta Power, you're just like, I don't like this circle very much.
We saw that during PEL, didn't we? We saw a couple of crazy circles.
We've seen it plenty of times, but when they lies around the center, everybody's like, all right, we can take our time to loot. We don't have to look at a vehicle and then start driving to the circle already.
Now, the team on your screen at the moment, they've got no other teams around them. So they've got plenty of room to work with here. They can, if they want to, sit towards the south after looting Severny and sit within the circle. But eventually they're going to have to cross that bridge more than likely.
I take it back. I said that BML was alone in Pachinki, but we actually see Hero and I think it was BKB in Pachinki. So I wonder where BML has adapted to go to instead of Pachinki. Because I believe that looked like Pachinki. Here, FTP, they were looting containers in the last game as well, and they're more than happy with OMGG. They have Ferry Pier. Personally, I think Ferry Pier is too small for 4 people, but hey, maybe these guys are like, yeah, we don't need that much loot. We can just take a few buildings and then we'll try and play from that, which is more than viable, and you can get found that. James, what are you? Are you like the guy who's like, yeah, I have a gun, I have a first aid, I'm ready, or do you want to have 10 first aids, 1,000 bullets, and then, you know, then you're ready?
I always look at it as like, as long as I've got at least 1 decent weapon and a few bit of attachments I'm happy with, I'm confident enough to go for the kills and just loot off someone else.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, I'm like kind of gun-ho.
That's kind of also hard to say in competitive play, because you're like, you don't just want to go for kills, but actually we see here BML, they run away from Pachinki, and they've looted this compound just to the east of it, and that's apparently where Cuba is landing too. And they're scoping out BML here, but they got away in their buggy, safe and sound just in time. But I get you, but I feel like, wait, They almost drove over the Kuma player here, but the Kuma guy doesn't shoot and they get away unscathed. You should have seen that, James. They were a meter away from running him over. He was biting his time laying prone.
He's like, oh, okay, I made it. Thank God. Now, you know that K team? They're called From Hell.
From Hell?
Yeah.
With the K?
The team name with the K is From Hell.
I don't understand.
I don't want to live in this world anymore. It doesn't make sense. I have no idea how they came up with that name. But K obviously represents something. From Hell is the team name. Just to confuse us, just to make life harder.
This makes no sense. There we go. Oh, honestly, I can't talk to you about the circle. I hate it. It's so annoying when there's water.
Like,
and you're just
where
like,
do we go?
You have to commit to either north or south. And you can't really tell until it's really, really late.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's just that one team that gets stuck underneath the bridge.
And they're like, oh, great. We're going to watch everyone go over and hope that we can try and get out of this.
It's so hard to like commit to one side. It's so if it's just like mostly north and mostly south, you're like, oh yeah, we're having a good time. And James just pointed at the screen and said, wait, there's only 14 teams? But sadly, from a personal experience with me, when you're playing online qualifiers and, you know, there's 32 teams across, it's very normal that people either don't show up and they're like, hey, we had really bad games. It's getting really late where I live. My mommy tells me I have to go to sleep. Maybe not that, but it do happen that the lobby doesn't always start with the 16 teams in this early on in like a process of a tournament.
That makes sense. Still plenty of games for them to make up for it either way. Now BKB, the Buzzkill Bros, they got to be still a little bit careful. There's a bit of distance between them at the moment, but it is a position they need to be wary of.
Yeah, I think it's maybe people don't watch the replays back because BML, our top one team here, they had Pubg the last game, and two teams decided to land on top of them, and then we saw BML adapt and go loot like, you know, small compounds on the side. So BML, they obviously have a game plan here, but it's really weird that we see other teams contesting the number one team.
Yeah.
Normally you'd be like, hey, these guys have been absolutely killing it, let's stay away from them.
Maybe they know they can't, because if they don't challenge them, then they're just going to get even more points. They're like, if we get them out early, especially with it being placement point heavy, we can try and keep them down or keep them away from it.
That is true. Maybe they're like, hey, we're better, we just need to eliminate them early.
Yeah. It's like, don't allow them room.
I like that. It's a little bit, you know, overconfident.
Well, the thing is, right, if you go up against, if it's a kill point heavy system, which this certainly isn't, then taking them and challenging them is always a bad idea because you're giving them more points that sees them stack up even higher if you do lose out. But in this, you can take that risk.
That's true. You see Epic here, they're trying to take the farm compound or Rust, but get scared away by
Spraying away.
The shots doesn't connect too much. This seems like ongoing theme we've seen a lot. I think they're more like the Peacock running system where you're like, hey, look at me, I'm here, don't come, this is my compound.
Like, stay away.
I honestly love doing that. And when you're splitting, I mean, these are all fought together, but let's say you're alone on a compound and somebody is there, sometimes you just shoot a little bit into the sky to like, you know, I'm here, don't come to my compound, I'm scary.
It's like there's more than just me here, back away. You do not want to be here.
I recall a situation where I was dead and I was like in alone. I would go around, pick up different weapons from all my dead teammates and like shoot different guns that made it sound like they were more than just me in that one tower.
That's actually a 200 IQ player. That's smart. That's because that would be the thought that go, okay, so they've got an AWM, they've got an AK, they've got an M4.
Exactly.
They've got a Grozer as well. It's like, okay, we're not going into this. It's like, I thought we killed him.
Yeah, it's like we pushed the team and I was the only one surviving, but we killed the other teams. I had all these different weapons I could switch from, and it's like, even though I shot at absolutely nothing, I just wanted to make a lot of noise because I didn't want somebody to run over to me or drive over to me.
Stay back, be aware.
Does it help? I don't really know, but you know.
Mind
when you hear
games.
gunfights, you're like, oh, this is definitely taken. We don't need to take this as our first priority.
Yeah.
It's the thoughts behind it anyway.
No, I think especially if it's the early part of the game, that can work. Because
it was towards the later stages.
Oh, God.
But it's like, you don't want to get breached, right? And if you're staying absolutely silent, then people will just assume there's nobody there.
True, and they roll up on it, and then you're like, uh-oh, now I'm stuck in a house, in a corner, ready to be pinned down and humiliated.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, we're not going into this. It's like, I thought we killed him. Yeah, it's like, The one team that hasn't been humiliated yet is BML, our current front runners, and they've also had a win on Vikendi and the previous game
But
of
look at the
Erangel.
position they've opted to take. They're down at the bottom right. I saw the circle is really north, so I'm surprised that BML is okay with settling this far down towards the corner.
And it's still on a basically 50-50 split here.
I
We
just
wait
know.
for that water shift and where it may go.
Yeah, it's so chaotic. You have to basically, I would kind of call it gamble between north and south here. And either way it goes, it can just be terrible. We still have these two teams battling out in Vikendi. I'm really surprised by how stubborn people are to fight in these early game scenarios and how long they actually stick around. Because we see XP on top of this building, but off to his left, there is stuck here. And he doesn't whiff this time. We saw the last game, was not his moment. He does redeem himself, and I think he finished off XP. I got a little bit overzealous. I mean, it's hard to know. We don't know where all the team members are when you're playing, and they just knew that there were two BKB members over here. XP get called out.
We're having that little bit of music time.
So in PUBG Mobile, can you change the sound of the horn to whatever you want to?
You
Basically,
can purchase stuff for it.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I am very addicted to skins in video games that I play.
Ah.
So you just, you choose. You don't care about the money cost. If you have 5 phones and a new one comes out, you gotta get that 6th one. If it's good, obviously.
So you are the man that's feeding everyone behind PUBG in buying lots of skins.
It's just skins and games in general. It's hard not to be addicted to. But I am a guy that spends a lot of time behind the computer screen and plays a lot, so I don't know why. But I do find pleasure in purchasing skins and using them. And let's just be honest, PUBG Mobile skins,
They're lit.
you saw that prone shot last game.
Maybe not him for me, but
I'm just kidding.
I've seen some good ones. I've definitely seen some good
It's
ones.
just an example.
I want the monster backpack. That's the best one.
There's so many cool skins, I can't even tell them apart.
Don't worry, after this, I'll take you for a crash course of skins in PUBG Mobile.
Fantastic.
And then you'll be addicted and you'll forever be just spending more money.
It's fine. This is a great position, though. I really do like this. You don't have the easiest access to the north. But if the circle were to go south, they can gatekeep so much because you have such a big overview. And if anybody tries to go south by swimming in the river, you can just stack up a ton of kills. But like we said, it's a gamble. But if the circle do go south, this is a really good position from Ace. We see FTP. They want to leave Georgia Ball. I see a US right in front of them on the road. James, tell me they're not just going to go in one vehicle. You hate to see it.
Of course they are.
What did you tell me when you cast the PC games? Whenever you see people in one vehicle, what do you do?
I complain and I go crazy and I'm like, why are you doing this? Because it's literally, all it takes is one spray down of a player that could be close by. Boom goes the car, boom goes all 4 players. It's never worth the risk.
And your entire team is dead. And
Like,
one thing, okay, go on.
No, I was going to say, like, if you have a really fast rotate, right, and you have to just use one car, okay. But as soon as you see there's another option for a second car, get out and go get that.
One thing I want to point out is I played the third-person tournaments in the beginning, and then at the big PGI tournament, the $2 million tournament, there was third person, and we did really well. But one thing there's extremely important in third person is if you have 4 vehicles, and you can manage to keep some of them alive towards the later stages of the game, if you can find a rock or a tree, if you place like a US next to a tree or rock, you throw one smoke, you basically made a compound for yourself. So if you manage to keep your vehicles alive towards the end, it's big.
Now BKB coming into this, and I'll come back to your point with the second last one, because what can BKB do here? They've had one player in Chris go down early on. They're now trying to apply some pressure, and they've been fighting within this area for quite some time now.
I'm just like, why? The circle is not on them anymore. Why do you spend this much time fighting early on? But
Pride.
pride? Pride's a stupid thing, James. If you ask me.
We got to tell him, we got to teach him.
Yeah, wait.
Wow.
Where did that nade come from? He's in the other building.
That was deep. How did it must have bounced off and gone in there perfectly. One player not there, now they can push into this. This is going to be really difficult to hold. The flank comes in as well. Duckcore getting it done and getting the finish off there. He is not holding back. And now they've just got one player left alive, stuck in the house. He's still being hunted in. Duckcore just spraying everywhere. Some shots come out towards him. He's being hunted down. Surely he can hold it there. Oh no! And he's going to be able to revive his teammate. What a cleanup.
I don't want to say anything, but I think Doctor needs... It's an experience, right? You get experience. He just looks really, really nervous. He panicked there.
Yeah.
It was like a 1v1. He just... If he holds the door, he can just hold the angle of the guy running, but he got really, really scared and ran away.
He came in, pre-fired a position he thought he'd be in. He wasn't there and then just ran away. And as he was running, took some damage and he was pinned down. It wasn't meant to be.
But this is also the biggest PUBG Mobile tournament up to this date.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's very reasonable for people to have these kind of nerves.
And also, some of these players, right, they may just have entered and not been from a competitive game before. This could be some of their first time playing in a big esports tournament. And this is another level of money being put down into it.
Definitely. That's, I mean, at least for PUBG PC, I don't think there's ever been as big a tournament as this.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And this is why players and teams are going to be learning very fast here as OMGG looks to move some damage here onto the Romanian squad, who have been pinned down in this one house. Misses popped out, trying to hold on, but it's not meant to be. And OMGG managed to hold on strong. A good execute, 4 players still alive, and they're going to be very happy with that.
That's how you do it, though. They got pinned out in that small little house. It's really unfortunate from the Romanian squad. I assume they crashed the garage, hoping it was free, but you saw MGG, they were there. They never let anyone of the Romanian guys out. You throw in a nade and then you just collapse in them, punch them out. BML, starting south of Vikendi and looting the compounds around it, it's now ended up in Russia. I guess this is a pretty good spot because you can see they have access right above them to the bridge that leads to the north. So if it stays south, they don't have to go to the water. And now when it goes north, they have access to the bridge. But this is a tough circle.
There's a lot of teams going on that eastern bridge as well.
We're going to have to see. Just wait. James, our favorite... I don't want to say favorite team, but we've had a lot of story of all around Kuma.
We've spoken about
They've
them.
been like our silent heroes, and they somehow managed to find themselves in the circle now, but on the north side.
Secretly, someone knew that Kuma were going to do well in this game, so they baited us with that 4th place on the leaderboard, then took it away when they realized, oh, they're actually checking this. And then they're going to finish really high again this time, and they will be in 4th place.
We see BML, they found Erangel and managed to get a knock onto him. I assume it's just right below this fight. And it's in mid-rotation, yeah, because both Erangel and BML is trying to make the win to the circle. Erangel is just ahead of BML, and BML is taking some heavy damage.
Avangard have some really good players in terms of just aim and natural ability in this. They're taking a lot of these engagements in these one-to-one fights and being able to work their advantage very well here. Now, Mackie may be knocked. He's got the BML players in front of him.
But I just want to point out, look at Erangel. If they didn't have 3 vehicles here, they would never been able to rotate over here or have a safe spot to play from. So I can just... this is one of the only Sam teams in these groups here, and it shows that they do have some experience.
Now BML still able to do some extra damage here. Avangard also helping them out, so they may have been potentially third party, but instead they both turned around and started to get involved. Now Lutz, he's been that super solo player for many times for his team. Can he pull off an incredible feat again, or will he be eliminated here?
That's a good question. Maggie gets fully flushed here, and look at BML, the plays they made. It's like, you talk about being nervous. If you have the confidence to make these kind of plays, oh my.
Rushed out when you've got 2 different teams spraying at you, you don't know what else is on the horizon, and you still drive forward and manage to provide some cover fire to keep yourself going. BML looking for a third win potentially as Lutz is doing God's work here.
He's just picking Erangel apart right here.
Avangard, I was just praising them on their individual skill. They got pinned down by BML and then they're just fighting back and forth. And now we see them in a really rough spot where actually only got 2 players left alive because Lutz has done so much damage to him.
Honestly, from like individual play, I don't know, like just Lutz and himself, I would say he could be MVP of the day for me, just because himself, he's never has his team around him, but he still somehow manages to, like, in game 1 and 2, we saw him get around 6th to 4th spot, I think it was, by solo snaking. And here again now, he's just managing to do so much work on his own.
And he has so much impact, right? Because many times we see this where You have one player left alive and he's just hiding, cowering, waiting and hoping he doesn't get picked off. Lutz has a good understanding of when to engage and when to back away, which has been working out so well for him. 2 kills and he's moved himself up to the top 10 at the moment.
I just wonder, why is Lutz always the solo survivor from his team? What happens when the rest of his team dies? Where is he then?
You know what I'm going to say? 3-1 splits. it's the new meta.
Like, how does he always manage? Like, just run away as soon as his team gets into a fight and then they lose?
He's like, oh, we lost the player. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to disappear over here.
It's fine. He's great individual player, but I just wonder how they do so often. This 3 games we've seen him be the last solo survivor doing work.
Oh, and the circle benefits PML once again, but Kuma are firing up onto him, and Kuma are doing the damage.
They have 4 players next to each other. Wait, do they? There's at least 3. I like this.
Splits. It's the dream. Billy found as well. Ramon able to get the kill.
Is that all of them out?
That's done. BML eliminated by Kuma there.
Kuma.
They've not just had a good game last game with just 2 alive, but they've also now managed to take down...
Look at this. Thanos is trying to sneak up on the shoreline here, but he have Ace right next to him in a boat, but I don't think they spotted him. Is Thanos going to take shots here?
Oh, champion. You got to... Oh, no, champion. This is risky. You've driven that boat into a rock and a wall so far.
It looks like Thanos is alone, though, so he doesn't make any noise. And if you look at the safe zone, he has a long way to go as well. This is our man. It's Lutz.
Lutz is there. The super solo.
Wait, who just took shots at Thanos? Was that the guy from the vehicle?
I think it's him on top of the hill.
Well, why wouldn't he shoot the vehicle? I don't know. Oh, no. Lutz has been found.
Oh no, Lutz.
He's getting shot from, I assume, Team Ace. The guys from the show.
Oh, he's down, he's prone. He's got not a lot of health, and he's going to be shot onto. And Erangel will finally take him down. He was a huge nuisance to them, and he managed to put his team into that top 9 position. As Thanos, he's just waiting. He doesn't want to hit
should
that
have
trigger.
The information that guy's a solo since he only sees 1, so expect him to shoot.
Kuma getting up on the scoreboards again, this time onto FTP, but also Epic are close by, so this could be a fight waiting to happen.
I like this. Epic almost in the circle. They're probably going to be good for maybe 1 more. Thanos trying to creep his way in.
That could be a real pain for a lot of teams here because he's not being focused on. He's taking a few shots at him so the people are aware of where he is, but he's constantly moving around here and big ease. Goes in for the kill, gets the finish, knows where Munchies is, hiding behind that tree. Is he going to try and flush him out? Just waiting, using that 3rd-person position to his advantage, but the kill gets taken away by his teammate, and they'll be happy with that. They get to live to fight another day.
One thing I've been really surprised by is we haven't seen anyone put a big focus on denying people crossing the water. So Ace has been able to get all people across safely from the south side. That's really uncommon, in my opinion. When you see waters in, you want to deny people swimming over that. It's a lot of placement points you can pick up from that. But these guys somehow managed to get it safely. I assume they just killed everybody from the south side and then swam over since nobody was looking that way. And look at that. Erangel somehow still staying alive. Kuma, they're starting to show some signs of life. They've had really good circles. M19 trying to snake. It's not looking great for Thanos right now, and he's down to just bandages.
Oh no, shots coming out towards him. Thanos playing the ducking and diving game. Needs to try and find himself some cover. He's got that trees just in front of him. He might be able to at least sit behind for a little while, but he's still not in the circle. He's going to apply the bandages, get himself med back up.
And would you look at that? Welcome to the lobby, straight center of the zone, and they have a really powerful compound. It's like so many times you hear, I think the most common question here from people, play unknown battlegrounds. It's just random, right? When you play a tournament, it's just random who wins. Well, we can clearly show here, it's the same teams doing good over and over again. And the team, they're doing fantastic. They got, I don't want to say 6th highest placement. There was that one Miramar game where they might have gotten around the same placement. But they have not done as well as I expected today. Avenger, they have a tough rotate into here. As you see, Ace is holding onto them. And if they peek over the hill, welcome to the lobby will flush them out. As you see, welcome to the lobby takes down PGR. Tough road here for Erangel, but they're in the top 5. Top 5 is good points. If you can consistently get in the top 5, which we believe their worst placement today was number 6, right?
6, yeah, I think for Erangel that was
That's an amazing job from them.
Erangel always getting themselves into the thick of things here.
Did you see how fast he snapped that guy from a couple hundred meters? What are those shots?
I think I'd like him to teach me.
Yes.
I'm down to learn how to fire like that. Especially on mobile when it comes down to it. Now, 5 teams remain, 15 players left alive. Kuma's still up with 4 players. They stuck 4 players together here. So they went for the 1-1-1-1. Then they went for the 2-2. Then went for the 3-1. And now we've done the 4 teams. Maybe we get a win, potentially. Still a lot of time.
Avenue gets taken out in 5th place. And we just see welcome to the lobby. Cleaning up nicely. Taking down... Is that all of Ace? That's all of Ace getting picked up by welcome to the lobby. Actually, Kuma finished his last one, but... welcome to the lobby, sitting strong. And we see Kuma, some signs of life. I told them, I want to see them play more aggressive, go for the kills. And they've shown up this game. It's almost as if they listen to us, James. You said the 3-1, and I said, I want to see them be more aggressive and don't be afraid to take fights. Look at that.
Secretly,
no fear from these guys. They're just walking straight into the compound right now.
Secretly, we are Kuma. And we're playing while commentating.
Don't tell them, James.
2 devices each.
You know we see the map, right? We can't say that aloud.
But all jokes aside, they've got welcome to a lobby very close to them. Eclipse is trying to slowly crawl away. If he can survive this, that'd be insane. Kuma just letting him get out.
Look at Epic. They won the game. What do you think? The Epic is in such a good spot. They were pinned down here 3 circles ago under so much pressure, and now they can just, like, you see Epic leader and pick forward. They've taken control of the entire zone.
That's huge as well from Epic, right? You just said about them being pinned down there for so long. They had to put smokes down. They were looking for cover. They had the vehicles to protect them. But they had so many teams shooting on. I think at least 2 teams were shooting on them at one point. Now they're actually in a position where they've got the best position here.
Well, that's what I said. If you have a few vehicles, you place down a few smokes, you can make your own cover, and then all of a sudden, you know it, you're in the best spot. I mean, this is maybe an extreme case, but using utility and vehicles can get you so far. And you see Epic now, they're in a fantastic spot. So if you're Kuma space here, do you think like, okay, we need to clear this compound and try to get one higher placement, or do you just wait it out?
You have to wait it out. Now they're in the pounds as Epic start to shoot onto him. Welcome to the lobby, taking some damage, lose 1 player straight off the bat here. Epic ready and waiting, and Kuma, how are they going to react to this? Sucket's starting to work his way around on a flank, and this could be huge. This flank could be very beneficial, because he can potentially pick up the downed player.
He doesn't see him in the smoke. But also the scary thing is, Epic is playing really well, actually.
Kuma get the first kill onto Epic. It's a straight trade out, though. Leaders found 1. Can they get any nades over? That's 2 knocked players here.
Look at
Sucket's on his way over. They've heard him. Spraying it out. Can he make it work? No, he doesn't. Leader able to get it, but Tron backing him up as well. And Kuma ever so slowly falling apart here.
And I believe the last player from Welcome to the Lobby is in the blue, right? He's just blue healing in that 1-story between the garage house and the 3-story? Yeah, he is. Potentially denying a kill here. I mean, Welcome to the Lobby. They're one of the highest ranked teams right now. I think it's not the most exciting, but you deny the kill point. You don't want to give another team like Epic, who's also in the top, any more points than they already have when you're fighting for one of the 2 spots. So I think we can congratulate. I mean,
just holding on.
But, I mean, look at them. They got 2nd place. They have 11 kills.
Yep.
He doesn't have any more first hits now. And Epic takes their first win.
Very nice there from Epic, who were in 5th place before we went into this game. And they had a very tough spot to hold there. We kept mentioning it because it looked like it was doom and gloom for Epic.
Yeah. And they managed to secure 9 kills, I believe it is. And Welcome to the Lobby, like we said, had 11. Really good games. But one thing that's really surprising to me is honestly the consistency of some of these teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Be My Loot, it's like go big or go home with 2 wins and 2...
Okay placements,
yeah. And then we have teams like Welcome to the Lobby, Epic, and...
Erangel.
Exactly. They're always like close to the top 5, it's not in the top 5. So this is a really good group for me.
And Kuma got increasingly better. I know we joked around about them, how they were splitting on the way they were playing it.
Let's just, maybe they have played together for a long time. We don't know the story. And maybe they're like, hey, Erangel? Yeah, we played that for months. We know that. Miramar? Yeah, it's not too bad. And then Vikendi, they maybe just haven't practiced as much.
Yeah.
So
they were like, let's try this. Let's see if it works. You never know. It might work out for the other weeks ahead of it.
Yeah.
But one thing, Larson, you were 100% right in how teams are using the cars, because the teams that are successfully getting vehicles and being able to position them well, drop the smoke grenades on it, they have been ones that have been able to get out of rough spots and find themselves actually kind of pushing further forward, where teams who maybe bundle in just one car or don't have vehicles to use in that way, they've struggled massively here.
Besides BLL, they're the only one that just like the overconfidence invitation where they just send 4 guys, 1 car and smash it. I mean, if it works, it works, but
I don't recommend
more often than not, it's not the most consistent way to go. I mean, maybe if they're just that good that they can fight everyone they meet on the way, sure, but I agree. If you want to see high consistency, you need to bring the vehicles, use the utility as best as you can. And I just know from personal experience, the vehicles, if you just have a little bit of cover, you can make it work so much more, especially in Erangel, where it's easy to bring vehicles around with you. On some of the other maps, it's really hard to do, but that's just my 2 cents.
Now we're trying to update the scoreboards, but nothing has changed just yet, so we'll still wait out for that. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out at the beginning of day 1. Now remember, this was Group A going up against Group B. We'll be seeing 2 different groups go head-to-head tomorrow. That's how it's working in terms of format, which makes this even more interesting when it comes down to it, because it's now like, oh, well, we got used to how these teams played and how this style works. Uh-oh, now we've got a whole different set of teams to play against, and it can literally turn upside down.
My short-term memory is very, very bad. So we have 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. Is the group C and D that plays tomorrow, or is it one of the groups from today that plays with one of the other groups?
No, so we see C and D tomorrow,
okay,
and then
so
on Sunday it's Group A versus C.
Okay, so we see 2 completely new teams tomorrow that we have no idea what we're doing. Probably a lot like today, but where people are trying to find their foothold.
Yes. And when we get to the 3rd day on Sunday, that's when we get to see Group A, who we've seen today, go up against Group C, which means we'll have a lot of information to play off and see how those 2 styles will kind of, will they complement each other? Will it be hectic and crazy? Will they have to give up space?
Yeah, and if people up to, they can look back at the map and see these teams landed here, and maybe they're like, hey, we're afraid of this team, so we should avoid this area. So we might see some teams land somewhere tomorrow and then change it up for Sunday.
Yeah, easily. And that's what it's about, right? I think some of the teams that are going to do very well here are the ones that decide, well, wait a second. We didn't do well here, but let's go watch the game back. Let's go watch the stream. Let's see what some of the other teams did. How can we work that into our game style? How can we counter that?
That's a huge part of it, to try. When you have like such long tournaments, you really have to get back the games and then realize what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And like, you can't fix all your mistakes, but maybe you should look at some of the easiest ones to do. And I mean, if you can get a free spot to loot instead of spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes fighting someone, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think one thing I want to see teams try and avoid throughout the rest of this is this early fights where they're literally, you're not in the circle.
Yeah.
You're fighting for no reason. The kill points aren't that big that you're going to be like, yeah, I really need these kill points right now. It's like just a scary position for both teams. No one wins.
But I think like the only reason that makes sense in my head is like, you said pride. Maybe they're like, hey, I mean, personally, I've had a history to say, hey, if you come to South Georgia, I'm going to kill you. And that's just it. And maybe it's a pride thing. Maybe they're like, hey, this is my territory.
Could be their territory. We'll find out over these next few weeks. Larson, it has been a pleasure, but we are done for day 1. What would you say as one word to sum it all up?
I don't know.
This man already. I will say that it was just crazy because start to finish, we didn't know how it was going to pan out. We knew a few of the team names, at least by organization and what they could do, but it was action-packed. Be My Loot showed the consistency with it. There are teams there that certainly are a bit more well-versed than others, but there are players and individuals such as Lutz that we pointed out who can have these moments where he's got no other teammates around him but can still do all the damage.
Yep.
It's crazy wide. And we're only at day 1. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow the same time as always. You get to start with us at 9 p.m. CEST. And we will see you guys tomorrow for another crazy group.
Do you play PUBG Mobile? Maybe you never run out of stamina. Maybe you're always aware of your surroundings. Maybe you're an amazing cook with the pan. Maybe you're a great driver. But as soon as you hear the sound of an airplane, you get into the zone. In PUBG Mobile, you all come from different walks in life. But you face the same dangers on the battleground. and you become friends. You work together to overcome the obstacles. This is PUBG Mobile. There's a number one in all of us. Welcome to the PUBG Mobile first anniversary party. PUBG Mobile. Be the one.
1 year ago today, PUBG Mobile went online in over 200 countries. On the 1 year anniversary of the game, we're here with you to witness the honor and the glory. The anniversary Royale Pass will go live as scheduled with the usual variety of rewards and a load of anniversary exclusive items, such as the brilliant anniversary outfit, the retro anniversary set, and the L&Q Chicken M762 finish. Don't miss out. PUBG Mobile, be the one. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up, so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass, you deserve it. Royale Pass Season 6 is here. This season's theme is 1 year anniversary of PUBG Mobile, with lots of rare items. We've also added lots of more realistic and hardcore items to your Royale Pass rewards. Turn yourself into an elite soldier. UC spent in Royale Pass will be fully refunded as your Royale Pass ranks up, so you can buy next season's pass. Royale Pass.
Ha! Gotcha. Royale Pass. You deserve it.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Yo, Mike, are you ready? Wait. Should I go with the UMP9 or UC?
Sun's out, guns out.
Gear up for summer.
You ready?
Okay. Well,
Ready?
sorry. I'm late.
Any plans for fall break?
Happy graduation! You made it, bro. So proud of you.
Sorry I'm late. What a day.
I hear ya.
Get
Come
this.
on!
Hey!
Watch out! Take this!
That's
Hey!
a real battleground.
Are you ready?